Do 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 do. Thinkers don't get it.
Wait, that was the high.
I got
No.
bullied into that. I got bullied into doing that intro. I was going
No,
for a
you
Doctor
didn't.
Who sort of theme, but just winging it.
You were bullied by
Our
yourself, man.
grand
You volunteered
queen.
for that.
You summoned
say.
Hydra with that.
Oh, the Dark Hydra.
Better late than never.
Yeah, better depressed than too overly optimistic. Also,
Hi, Hydra. Hi, Catru. Hi, Gray. Hi, Coffee.
Hail
Tea.
Hydra.
Hi, Vinvin.
Yeah.
Hello.
I was playing around with effects, so Dorkus took advantage of the moment. Guys, my hair can be in a ponytail. Check it out.
Congrats. It's been a while since I've been able
Incredible
to do that.
advancement. Yeah.
It works.
It's called a warrior's wolf tail on you, though, right?
It's a corgi's tail. So, how's everybody? What are we on? What are we doing? How are we
Hey,
doing?
hey, hey. Doing
Hey,
well.
hey, hey. Guys, drop a like for Vinvint's intro music there. That was incredible.
Yes.
Bimo,
It
hi
was-
Bimo, hi Lucifer. Forful,
Excellent.
heard you all got eviscerated.
Oh, yeah. Is this the
Did
first
we
time
really?
since then? I guess it is. isn't
Yeah, I
it?
guess
Yep.
it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Mhm.
Oh god.
Mm.
Oh no. I'm not sure how and when we should talk about that, but there are some things to explore. Yeah.
Yeah, another time. Is Rumble okay? Rumble is telling me that it can't rumble.
We are not ready
Anyway.
to rumble. No.
We are not ready to rumble. Indeed.
Rumble is not ready to rumble.
Demand
but
a
Rumble is-
refund. Demand that you should be able to speak to the
It's
manager.
offline.
Call customer support 3 times over. Do it.
yeah. No, you do it because you're formidable. Kayla has
Have a good one,
arrived,
Jay.
guys.
Have a good one,
Hey Jay. I've got a dental appointment
Hey,
and I'm
hey.
going to be on Sitch and Adam show today, so I can't stay long. We got to catch that, guys.
Looking
I
up,
wanna
looking
catch what
on.
Jay
Okay,
is
are we gonna
doing.
stream snipe them? Are we gonna
I
stream
will
snipe them? Because
Screen snipe.
they're
Screen snipe.
yeah, no,
There's
because
overlap now,
they
yeah.
start when we're live.
Assholes. How dare they?
I
They
know.
should
Yeah,
know
we
that
should.
there's significant audience overlap.
Listen, you
So-
can't really blame J-Mac, okay? He's just moving on to greener fields, okay?
Okay,
Mm,
let's see if I've fixed the rumble.
you cannot fix the rumble. The best you can do is deal with the rumble, like people in California and earthquakes.
Hmm.
You know, they have to structure
something like
their
that.
structures to
Something goes wrong.
withstand it.
Okay, so what topic would you like to topic first?
Whatever
Um,
seems
like-
topical.
There have been some scares that I would like to address. I've seen a lot of misinfo, speculation, and just lies, a lot of propaganda, and also just people being terrified of the new mysterious Russia space weapon, the nukes in space. Oh my God,
Oh,
this is the end of
sure.
everything. You know, I would love to quickly address it whenever it's okay with everyone. We can even do it right now. It's relatively quick and easy.
Yeah, especially because you're here.
I just
Yes,
had
I'm
an
usually
image of
available
Dr.
at the
Evil.
start.
Yeah, it's good to have an intro sort of warm up topic. So
Okay, so if you really think about it, you should be able to figure this out yourself. But putting nuclear weapons in space, can any of you actually give me a reason? I wonder if you can figure how many people here can figure it out. Why it's a really bad idea if you're a nuclear power.
Yeah, for one, because you'll what is that? If there's a malfunction
There are multiple
or
reasons.
something, yeah, if there's a malfunction, then you're going to be irradiating the entire Earth, theoretically knocking out all of everyone's infrastructure.
Oh, that's just one of the many. But yes, but one of the good. This is one of the many reasons what Andrew touched upon. It's not just that you can have a malfunction; is that repairing things in space is pretty much it's extreme, almost impossible or hardcore ever since the space shuttle program got cancelled.
Yeah.
If you have a nuclear launch device in space, like even if a single light burns out, you're fucked. You can't repair it. You can't really touch it. And even if you do it, it's going to cost a lot of time, money, precious manpower, etc. And why even have it there in the first place? Think about it. Hey, you have a satellite or whatever that launches nukes. Why? It's super easy to track in space. Everybody will know where it is all the time. It can't defend itself. It can't change course. It can't hide because the stars will always be behind it and we'll always be able to
it would
see.
only work if it's the
And-
first person to do it. Once someone
That's
comes up with
just
a
another thing
counter
of it
strategy.
itself. Like there are so many anti-satellite missiles already. This thing is useless. Well, as opposed when you could just have that nuke in a silo or in a submarine somewhere where the enemy doesn't know exactly where it is. You have immediate access to it to repair it, move it, etc. Switch out the warhead. You can launch it wherever, and even better, you can pretend to have far many of them and decoy targets even.
Yeah,
You can
railguns
have
in space
10
make much
times
more
as many
sense.
silos.
Okay.
Yeah.
and have 90% of them be fake, and the enemy will be forced to target all of them. The main
my
issue is,
friends,
I know this is one of those fake weapons essentially that look really good on exercise and on paper, and you can posture about it to the international community, like China with all of its hypersonic missiles that are otherwise hypersonic missiles are super niche in of themselves already, but this quote-unquote space weapon is pretty fucking useless because it's literally worse than digging a missile silo in Siberia and just putting a nuke there.
Yeah.
No,
In every way.
What is it? a much better weapon, and it still would be niche, but a much better weapon would be, what is it?
I said a railgun. Okay.
Tungsten rods with rockets on them.
Oh yeah, and that would even have the benefit of
Yeah.
like being clean, and you can invade the nation that you just bombed with them, etc.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even need that much maintenance because it's not a
Mhm.
fucking nuke, it's not an explosive, it's not as complex, etc. But that's pretty much what I'm talking about. Is even then you have the issue of like your launch platform being exposed, being predictable. Like you will exactly know how much time it takes, where it orbits, and you can't change that without spending a shitload of fuel that again you need to get up there. And even if just a single fucking panel, a single solar panel breaks on it, it's fucked. You can't change it out. There are no mechanics in space to pull up next to it ever since we don't have the space shuttle.
It doesn't have.
you
It
need to
doesn't
have
have
an
nearly the
infrastructure.
downsides, but it's still. It doesn't have nearly the downsides, but it's still not worth it.
I think we need to go to space anyways. Okay. Infrastructure within space construction. I'm not advocating for this nuclear building, but sorry, I'm forward thinking. We definitely do need to start moving outward.
That's a completely different stance than trying to
it's a
put
different thing.
nukes
It
in
actually
space.
sounds like a plot to a bad movie.
What about? Okay, so what? Why are there nukes in space?
The reason why
there
nukes
aren't.
travel into
not
space
dumb.
to begin with
They're dumb,
is
they're not
It's
that
an
dumb.
edgy teen.
it shaves down on travel time.
Why did this become a discussion? How is like?
The reason why Russia is doing it is because they need to.
They're doing it?
Yes.
No, they're
They
not
need
doing
to-
it. They say they're
They
doing
are.
it. They're not
they are
actually doing
threatening
it.
to do it. They are.
Yes,
threatening
it's
to-
a
they are-
threat.
as I was-
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
it's
everything
threatening the
they
nuclear
do.
stable. They are forced to essentially posture in front of the international community based on how bad it is going for them economically and militarily, etc. You can see them. It's kind of like watching a lion be stabbed through the eye and be cornered. It's like it's semi-blind, flailing around, trying to attack. It's this cornered animal behavior when they are the most dangerous, essentially. Like this is why they are engaging in a lot of blatantly just trying to piss as many people off and be as much of a comic villain as possible, really, by essentially arresting American citizens who are
It's
in
like
Russia just doing
Musk
their thing.
having the Tesla in space. It's just
It's
image
the
over,
evil genius version of that, essentially.
yeah.
So
I think they should put a Death Star in space. Okay. That
I
should
don't
be
know.
actually
Bezos' ship looked pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
I mean, can they blow up asteroids? And I don't know if they should.
We need to catch asteroids. We
blowing
don't
up
need to blow
asteroids is
them
a
up.
bad
We need to
idea in
catch
of
them.
itself. Yeah.
Catch and
Catch 'em
release.
all.
Okay.
Gotta catch
Just
them all.
literally-
What are
also,
we
the
doing?
problem is-
Asteroid Armageddon.
If you blow up the asteroids, you will create multiple fragments that will be even harder to calculate. It's
Uh-huh.
literally just better to just bump into it, and that will push it away.
Changes trajectory.
Actually, that would be an awesome weapon, a funnel in space that would catch asteroids, break them apart,
Well,
and use them as a
the
weapon.
point about
Of course,
the point about
unreliable.
catching
'cause
them-
you'd have
It
to
would
wait
still
for
be
the
better than the
asteroid.
nukes in space, but yeah.
I mean, completely slowing the trajectory to a halt would probably be infeasible. But you want to
Depends
if you
on
can
mass,
alter
but
the if you can alter the trajectory in
stop it, I
order
don't
for
think.
it to orbit the Earth, even if it's on a long elliptical pattern. You
Hasn't
could
anyone
set up
ever
a
seen
system of
Hunter x Hunter? The sort of
cannibalizing it so that
volleyball
you could-
episode? Sorry, am I the only one? Probably.
Hisoka.
Yeah. So you could cannibalize it and then send what you get from that back to Earth.
Or use it in construction right up there, because that's the
Oh.
biggest
Yeah,
problem.
that's true
because
too,
anything
yeah.
we send up, it has to be like 95%.
Like, don't look
fuel.
up. Talking about bad movies. Well, that's one of the topics. Don't look up. Since we're on are we still on the idea of nuclear, or are we moved on to asteroids in space? I'm just
Danger-
clarifying.
Sorry,
Danger
I was
balls
the one
is-
that thought about it.
That's the topic we are on.
It's an awesome idea. Okay, definitely within my wheelhouse, and it would go into the bad movies with "Don't Look Up," which was all completely headache-inducing if you try to take it seriously.
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
Oh God, I mean, conceptually it was a fine idea, but in practice, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Who
we're
was it?
saying you
The
guys
stand-in,
follow bad
Steve
movies,
Jobs or whatever. Sorry,
but guys
I'm trying to
follow
figure out
bad-
who
did what. Who done it?
Oh yeah, I give up.
No, tell us.
no information about the oversight.
It's better you don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Hold on. This
What?
is the B sub. The B sub.
That's
section.
literally the plot of the last season of The Expanse. I haven't gotten to that.
I have to go back to the Expanse. I was enjoying it. I really was. I don't know what season I got to. So
I like the book series better. It cuts out some of the weird
Yep.
stuff in it. Oh.
At least the
Well, other
realistic
books
space
maybe.
combat is nice, but still.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest of all hard sci-fis that I know of.
book wise,
Well,
yeah.
aside from that one element of the molecule. But
Bad movie
spoilers.
writing. How about bad space writing? Bad space movie. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Not
Don't get
just
us
any
started
movie,
on
yeah.
I'm
that.
getting to the video. I don't know if we want to use the video for reference. I guess we do.
Probably
need
so
that
we can all get on the same page.
Yeah, because I didn't. So that was a day and a half, guys. So I'm just going to go to it and let you guys drive. Let's open here. What was it? You said starting at 2 hours 18 minutes. Okay.
Mhm.
I think if we start at 218, I don't know if they quite get into the tweet. Dorkus, do you know kind of the backstory
Yeah.
on that tweet? Would you be able to fill that in?
Yeah, if you start
what
actually
has to go
a
to?
few moments before 218, but I think Andrew would be able to do a better job of explaining than I could.
Okay, hold
On this
Let's,
matter.
Oh,
Lofty
Well-
got into an argument with
Yeah.
a Hollywood writer.
yeah.
Lofty is in the chat.
No, Lofty.
I
No,
wish.
that's the basis of this discussion. That
Yeah,
Oh,
Lofty,
Dorkus put
Lofty
into
is on. Lofty
Talk
is
About.
on. Lofty, you know, was a few days ago.
This is the
Lofty
thing,
was talking on Twitter about Madam Web, and
Mhm.
well, what is it? People on Twitter are talking about Madam Web, and this writer, this Hollywood writer, he jumps in. You know, I haven't seen it, but you know, the guy that everybody is. Well, not everybody, but like certain.
well, he
people
hasn't
are
seen
saying-
Madam Web either. If you watch the search and
Yeah,
section.
exactly. So
Correct.
what is it? The writer for Madam, so one of the writers, I think the head writer or something. They took his filmography and they said, you know, isn't it horrible? Wouldn't you feel bad if you're this guy or something like that? Isn't this guy's what do you call it? Isn't this guy's filmography, in his body of work, isn't it sad? Because all of these movies are horrible. And then this Hollywood writer,
Lofty
though,
said this.
no, somebody else did.
Okay.
But this guy, this Hollywood writer, jumps in and says, this guy is a legend because he actually got all of these movies made, and he has all of his name is on all of these movies. And he's talking about how impressive that is to have done in the first place. Beyond the quality of the film, this guy is a legend because of what he was able to accomplish. Beyond the quality. And
so he's saying,
yeah.
At least it's a movie.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Only
And-
legends
Okay.
can make movies.
I mean,
And that is kind of the
Okay.
kind of the setup. That's kind of all you really need to know going in. Is that other than Lofty and him continued a conversation. They had it became amicable, so they brought actually him on to their stream, the what do you call it? BSUP podcast.
So that's this guy.
Little
That's the
platoon.
guy.
Yeah.
Jedi
and he-
Brooks.
No. Jedi Brooks is like a member of the stream.
Okay. So
The
where's the
guy,
guy?
he'll be in like the lower left-hand corner. He's on
Oh, there
screen,
he
he's
is.
on
'Cause
camera.
There's Lofty, and then let's bring him here.
The little platoon.
No, he'll be in the corner next to Lofty.
He comes on there.
Like, and this was my beef in the first place, is
Can you guys hear?
because way before
You
I
gotta
was,
love his
you know,
language.
lucky
This is
enough
my
to
beef.
write movies
Where's the
and get
beef?
something made, I used to be a journalist, so I used to write for Vibe, Source, Double XL, and then I was actually on staff of the Los Angeles Times. And this is back in the day, like when you wrote about a record.
Okay, so would you guys want me to go to his entrance?
A little bit farther beyond this, because he's just talking about his past
Where he
experiences.
is at?
But
Okay.
He does have bona fides. He did write
Yeah.
on
No,
a
he-
whole bunch of different things on top of doing journalism. But I
Sure.
think most
I would like
famously it
to
was
just kind of
Luke
assume
Cage,
that
right?
though. Yeah. He was like the showrunner for that, or the director. Either way, I would like to just give him that he's
part of
been
the
in the
industry.
industry a long time. He knows what
Yeah.
he's talking about, and we can just deal with his statements and opinions as they
an
are.
authority,
Well,
like coming
what is
from.
it?
Well,
Like,
as
I
a
would've-
person, a person that has
nonsensical
been in there.
characters who do things which make
Shh, platoon, I'm talking. So they so what you're trying to say to me is, listen, he is part of the industry, so take his
I
word.
think
where
that
it's
we
from.
can like listen to what he has to say and realize he does have some insight, and without buying everything he says whole cloth.
I
But
think
we
yeah,
don't, I don't
and
think
what-
we need to go over his credits,
his
and
credentials.
his
Okay.
credentials. Yeah.
Even and I mean, what got him into this discussion was actually his credentials being laughable, right?
No.
and-
He's
oh,
not the guy.
no.
He's defending the guy.
Okay. He's defending the other guy and saying,
Yeah. No,
he's the one.
wor-
Is he the one that said those are our accomplishments? He's a legend.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I'm here. Okay. I didn't get my nap before I joined. So
Oh,
we
you
have to
you
get-
always need your
yeah.
nap, your cat nap.
absolutely
yeah, I need my cat.
of dialogue or preference for X things.
Okay, so
Whether
is there
What we're
You know
talking
what?
about though isn't
maybe
really
you should
Right
be
here, this is good.
presenting. Is this,
This is
good?
good.
Okay, cool.
like little missteps like that. What we're talking about is the absolute foundational fundamentals of writing anything, whether it's a script for a film or a script for a book, a screenplay or a novel. We're talking about absolute nonsensical characters who do things which make absolutely no sense, and individual lines of dialogue or preference for exposition styles,
Right.
which simply are not art at all. Madam Web has a really good example, lots of very good examples of the villain simply saying things which are comical because of how badly written the line is.
Yeah.
And I'd say that that's probably different to the example that you give. So our perspective from criticizing writers is that...
But to that point, right? It's
Yeah.
like you don't necessarily... 5 different things could happen.
Okay, so Nobor, hi Nobor. So listen, this is the start of it. Is this where Gray starts going, his takes are driving me crazy? Is this where it's going?
This is the start of it. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, it's this and then the next few. And then he has some like really decent takes mixed in with it. It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Nobor, the alerts aren't on today because of the virtual camera being janky. So that's for you. Okay.
We are going back to manual.
Yeah, it's manual. It's analog. Daisy is not happy with that, but it's okay. Okay. So he's now basically the conversation so far is there's bad things. Oh, look who's here.
Yeah.
Resolve. Okay.
How's it
He's
going?
muted himself.
Oh, he's muted.
Yeah.
Greetings, thrill seekers.
Hey.
Wow, full house tonight. Well, you are
Indeed.
a script writer. A script
Vin, you wanna
writer.
Yes, I've
Yeah,
written
then
several
feature us.
things. I've written several short scripts. I've written some animations. I've written a feature film that is yet to be produced and is dying currently in development hell.
It's not always the case.
Yes, for the most part, it's like 99% of screenwriters in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, so your opinion also is highly warranted here. Let's see. Have you watched this, Rosales, or are you watching it with me in real time? Because I've also haven't seen this.
This particular video that's on the screen right now, I am watching it in
Mhm.
real time.
Okay, let's
Okay.
see. Guys, tell me when to
Excellent.
pause. Okay, excellent. Okay, Mr. Burns. Let's get
There could have been, and I would really have to see the movie in order to really
Sure,
have.
yeah.
But then how do you pinpoint that those things were studio interference? That's the point that he's making now. Like,
Because
you-
nothing comes out with the studio signing off on.
Okay, so the whole contention is sorry, I'm pausing
Everything.
a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Everything else
So
that he says is relatively, what is it? Has a firm basis in reality. I don't see this particular argument making any sense because that the studio signed off on something, that means that they interfered with it. I don't think that it works
they're
that
the
way.
thing.
I mean,
They're what made
sure,
it bad.
They signed off on it, but they could also just not be paying attention and or be so ill-informed that they said, sure, yeah, and thinking that it was good, but it really is the creative decision of somebody else. I don't
Well,
see
the days
It
of
rubs me as passing the buck.
yeah, a little bit.
Mhm.
the days
So,
of the studio handing you money and saying go make your film and whatever you come up with we're okay with are long since gone.
Yeah.
Dailies show up and then they get notes and then reshoots are given, and with the vast number of reshoots that were given to Madam Web, and a lot of the movies that have come out lately, as a matter of fact, are just reek of studio interference and daily notes. You may
Sure.
remember a tiny little film called Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
Hmm.
where the studio did not like the way the film was being edited and the way the director was pushing it. So they went off on their own without telling the director, and they commissioned another team to edit the movie in a different way. Now, this team specialized in making movie trailers. Okay. That's what their specialty was. And they re-edited the film on their own. And then they screened.
The trailer looked okay, though.
The trailer looked fine, but the film looked like a giant trailer. Now, that's the film version that they went with. That's not the film that they showed when they screened it for the director. Okay. So they didn't tell him, and they didn't show him, and they didn't release his film. So studio interference is something that happens all the time.
Yeah. These sort of things are what he articulates later that I feel like is very well reasoned.
Seems like kind
This
of a
argument
fundamental
he just
problem.
stated here, though, I do not feel is very well reasoned.
So wait,
Where he's
so
just saying
it.
I mean, certainly it does. Like, what is that? The buck stops with the studio because they're the ones that are okaying everything. Sure, but if we're talking about whose fault is what, people have their own. There's different levels of responsibility, and certainly, like I said, the studio, the buck stops with them, but they aren't necessarily the ones making the creative decisions on every.
They're not the only ones. They're certainly not the only ones.
They're not the only ones. They're not.
They can ruin it.
Yeah, but with the case of what was just brought up with Suicide Squad, that's just like going over their head, and that's a extreme example.
And that is
I mean, a good example of this sort of a creative decisions to get around the rules would be like Hitchcock with the Hays Code and a lot of those film noir. Sorry, this is my go-to with that. There are ways to skirt the rules and be. I'm defending the artistic. I'm going against him right now. This guy here. There are ways to skirt the rules. Yeah, there are ways to skirt around the rules. You know, technically following what they say, at least technically, but spiritually, you find some way to put it together in a more believable way.
And also maybe something is so shit that it's shit all the way through. Like something that seems like Little Platoon was talking about. It's just like some of that dialogue, that's not cutting. That's just
and it feels like what he's saying is just you can't blame the writer for that because there's so many hands on it after that. But I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone is like literally looking up who the writer is and saying like this guy is the worst writer ever because of how this movie turned out. Like
7 writers are credited for the film.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of more the point. That it's like the writing on this is not great.
Yeah. I have a question. Sorry, movie people. Were they always this many writers?
Yes.
It depends.
Really
like, if it's adapted from something else, maybe.
For movies,
No,
yes.
yes.
They were not
movies,
always
yes.
accredited, but they were always there.
Yeah, the writer's room. Okay, they bring the
No,
television writer
that's the
room
thing.
into these productions.
Writer rooms are for TV. Right.
Yeah,
what they will do is they will have different writers at different times for movies. They will only bring in a writer to do some work, and then he's gone. They may have someone staying on set to be a particular writer, but they don't have a writer's room. These 7 writers may never have talked to each other on the.
That is a possibility.
They would not have. They would have worked on it individually. A lot of times when movies go through lots of development, people come on and people come off. If there's a different producer coming on, or if there's a different director, they change hands because things take so much time and they wind up moving to a different project. That director or producer is going to bring in their own writer to doctor the script. They will continue to do that. So when you have somebody like a Burt Sharpless or a Matt Sanzama or a Kareem Sanga working on the story initially, somebody brings in S.J. Clarkson for the screenplay. And then at some other point, Claire Parker takes a swing at it. And then Burt Sharpless comes back to fix what everybody else has done. And so you have all of these people coming in one at a time after the other at different stages of production to tweak a script that winds up looking like that one did.
Yeah.
But then would it be unfair to say the writing in this isn't good if the end product isn't good? Or would that be just unfair?
I don't care how many people touch a burger. If a burger is crap, it's crap.
Yeah.
Why is there a presumption that the starting place for a script is at good? Wouldn't it be at neutral?
Well,
Because that's where the money starts. Yeah,
Well-
nobody's going to greenlit something that's crap.
No.
They
Well-
wait, I take
I
that back.
disagree.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump was crap. Was a crap book, but somebody saw a seed of light in it, and they took that and they worked it into the Academy Award nominated movie that it was. But yes, it is safe to say that for the most part, there is somebody who's going to see something in a script that shows potential.
Right. And the point about assuming that the original script is good isn't that it always is true, but we're trying to see how it was a mental exercise to see how a good script could become bad. It
But-
wasn't that because they were trying to talk about how we see a bad film isn't always because the original script was bad. Sometimes it's because there were changes
many
made along the
cooks.
way.
Too many
But
cooks
as it-
trying to stir the broth.
But as it pertains specifically to the superhero movies, which seems to be the topic of the panel, doesn't production on a lot of these movies, like Doctor Strange and so forth, all start before the script is even finished in the first
Yeah.
place?
That's
Yeah.
true.
How
That-
can
that-
you
It's like,
know?
you need it. Yeah.
The
it's-
mess of Doctor Who 2, Multiverse of Madness,
Strange.
is yeah, thank you. I can't
What
believe
did
it.
you call
Yeah,
it? anyways,
Doctor
Well,
Strange.
it goes
Doctor
back
Who.
further than this. I
Doctor
think
Who.
a sort of
Doctor Strange.
postmodern idea of this is like the Transformers movie, like the 10 lines. What was the one guy's name? The director, horrible director,
Michael Bay?
Michael Bay, like trying to find places to insert those, nostalgic lines. Sometimes it wouldn't apply to this particular movie because it's Madam Web. But there is a sort of ethos in here, the checklist idea. They want certain moments to be there. Like they want certain iconic moments, and they try to work the script around these iconic action scenes, sort of like the Michael Bay sort of philosophy.
When I saw the film, I really saw action sequences that were chock filled with exposition. And that to me kind of reminded me of a comic book, but I don't think that's what they were doing, because they were not only causing expedition of what's actually happening now, but what happened in the previous scene. And then they would get to a point where the action was over and they had a quiet moment where they reflected on the action that just happened, which was like all of this excessive exposition and dialogue that really ultimately led nowhere.
And to speak to that,
That's not good
the
writing,
writer
though.
here, he postulates that what could have happened, not that what did, but what could have happened is that an executive, the studio could have said, well, I don't understand it, so write it so that I can understand it. And that was the end product, is that they forced them to make it make sense to someone who didn't understand what was going on. So it ended up being exposition heavy.
Okay, so
I see that as the exposition inside of exposition, outside of exposition, following exposition, as a way of extending a story that should have been a lot shorter. It didn't seem like a 2-hour film story. The story itself was concluded. When you're writing, you have this idea that you tell the story you want to tell, and then you can always trim it back later on. You can trim the fat, but you can't add more meat to it. And what they were doing with this film, it looks like, is that they were trying to add meat to a story that just didn't hold.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Dorkus, you said if.
No.
I mean, there are good examples of taking a simple concept and extending it well. I can't think of it in film, but like Ender's Game was as a book. It was a short story published. Then Orson Scott Card took it and extended it to a full book with some. The sequel to it was good, but you try to extend something too much and it just falls apart generally.
Let's continue, see if we get some more nuggets to discuss.
Period. So
Well, but that's not interference. That's just
what I'm saying.
formulation.
So what I'm saying is that, you know, for a script to even get to the point where it's greenlit, where the studio decides we're going to put $150 million into making this thing, you know, not just the production, but also
You clearly
marketing
need
and
very
everything.
little. Yes.
Yeah, but also remember, we've just had the discussion that sometimes there isn't even a script. It's just like, make this movie.
It has become
don't know the
practice to
story.
some side to write it on the
No.
fly. So I don't care. He could. I'm sorry. For some reason, I have very little charitability for this person. I just had a bad impression. I don't know why. My apologies.
Well, I can
But
sympathize with him. He's trying to deal with all the moving parts, but he is doing some major apologia for the creatives within this field.
And he's not wrong. That, like,
passing the buck.
He's being
once you write
idealist.
something, it's not that's what ends up on screen. Like, there's a lot of hands it goes through. There's much
he
more
has an
after the writing
example.
process.
But
He has an
look,
example from earlier that I watched a bit of this beforehand, where he talks about a certain actor. He gave this actor a promise to have just 6 episodes, and he was done, even though this character was really successful.
Yeah,
sort of like, but sometimes
Cotton.
some things need. Well, that's more in television, like with Buffy, the character Spike. I'm forgetting the names of all these directors, but the director of that,
Joss Whedon,
didn't want him. He was supposed to be killed off. The executives wanted to keep him on because he was so successful with the audience. You'll find this in television, but with a certain movie, I think this is is this guy have any movie credits? Because he has Luke Cage under his belt.
Yeah, he does. So he had something to do with Straight Outta Compton, but he doesn't have a credit on it. He wrote Notorious. He wrote Creed 2. And he not only wrote the series, he also created and was the showrunner for Luke Cage.
Sometimes studios can make good decisions, and a truly good writer can proficiently make the suggestions that the studio makes work. At the end of the day, the writers have to be able to create based on they don't get the praise when a movie's good and none of the blame when a movie is bad. They need to be able to take the notes and make something that's workable regardless.
How many writer strikes have we had? Okay. I don't know if that has to do with self-entitlement of writers or anything like that, but creatives definitely seem to be downplayed. The VXF artists are definitely overworked and rather mistreated. I think She-Hulk was an excellent example of that process being done. I don't know how it applies to this particular movie, but it's still a good example.
No, She-Hulk was the writer's fault.
Oh,
I don't know. You just didn't understand.
I'm using that as an example of sort of a studio. I'm not using it as an example of something that's not the writer's fault. I'm using that as an example of how the studios mismanage different aspects of the production.
No,
Yeah.
actually, it's your fault for not liking it. Actually,
Yes,
that's the problem.
Sandra.
You are a big old.
Actually.
Right.
Okay, let's continue.
Else. That goes from top to bottom through about 5 to 10 different people.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, you have, you know, who knows who was brought on in terms of different writers doing different things. You don't know how many different writers were actually on, you know, unless you see the actual WGA arbitration on the credits. You don't know how many different writers were part of it. You don't know if somebody, you know, got.
So presumably saying you don't know how many writers you were part of it means you don't know who's to blame for the writing, the bad writing.
Well, yeah, a lot of people can get paid for writing and doctoring a script, but because of other contractual agreements, they may not be able to get their name credited on the script. So, you know, there could be definitely tons of people, especially working on the day of the shoot. Sometimes actors just can't get the words out, or the words that are on the script just do not feel right at the time. And in the case of a union film, you're going to have a writer on staff right there and then to go ahead and do that. But if the main writer has a clash with the director or the producer and they get in the way, they're not going to use them. They're going to use somebody else. You're going to hire somebody who's qualified to do that according to them or their friends, and they'll get to do it and not have to not have to give them credit. So you wind up with lines like, he was there at the time my mother was studying spiders in the Amazon.
Before she died.
Like, were the spiders worth it, Mom?
Yeah, stuff like that might have been made up on the spot by some.
Like, it sounds
some
okay.
writer.
It'll be fine.
Without
It'll be
getting
fine.
God, it actually sounds like some of those insanely. Oh,
But wait,
it sounds like one of
no.
those parody movies or something.
What I'm getting
Yeah, but
what I'm getting out of all of the conversation, what I'm getting out of all of the conversation about surrounding this is that there needs to be more communication and a clear structure for changes that everyone can agree on.
Yeah, you
that
broke
everyone
up, but
understands.
yeah, there should be someone to actually be held accountable for this. I can agree. The only one we can really focus on in this accountability for, if people want to place accountability, is a figurehead. Like with a Michael Bay movie, if his name's on it, place the blame on him. I don't like the placement of the blame, but
can you be?
His name is not necessary. The amount of explosions will tell you immediately if he's involved.
Very good point. Hail Hydra, man. Hail Hydra.
If you get credited for a script that's shit, how's that gonna go? Just what I want to say. Like, you guys are talking about not getting credit for being there. I'm talking about, do you even want that credit?
Well, I mean, it's a stepping stone. Yeah, it's a credit. Like, even if it's a bad credit, it's a credit. It pads out a resume in a good way.
Like,
You're not going to bite the hand that feeds you if you want to work in Hollywood again. So you'll eat that one. Okay, and move on to the next one and go on and make Morbing 2.
That's Vex. Vex does that all the time now.
Yeah.
But his argument seems to be that you can't blame the writer, though. Like, wouldn't all those changes that we talked about, and he talked about, wouldn't that still be writing? It's
accountability, yes. Okay, let's answer what the accountability. But did Rosales disappear? No. I just feel like there's fewer people.
Like, this guy's argument, though, is what is it? Unless you have concrete knowledge of who did what, then you have to, the black box of the process means you can't blame specific people.
Well, fine. I'll blame them all.
They keep saying the writers in this particular panel, and he keeps taking.
True. Exactly.
Yay! I'll just see what he said.
And I can understand his frustration with it, not actually know it. He doesn't know, and they don't know exactly who to blame for this.
And in all due fairness, the original tweet called out one particular writer for working on 6 bad products. So fair enough.
Okay, so be like, common denominator. Coincidence?
Right. Well,
yeah, I don't like that philosophy in general principle. Okay, I think you should just criticize the material and be like, okay, if these guys, and you can make the case after all. I think this writer,
can you say bad writing
director,
for Madam Web that's not good, like either the dialogue, the actual plot?
Yeah, you can say the writing's bad, the directing's bad, whatever.
Credit
and
each
if
line.
I was this writer, I would not want to be associated with this particular project. Okay.
Who wrote the meme line?
Here's the other thing to note is that there are clips of these writers saying very ridiculous things. It was a case of us not knowing what to do with the script, or Madam Web doesn't have a backstory.
It's kind of seals the deals, though. That's what we should get started with. That's when the all of the previous arguments are kind of like overshadowed by these. When the writer just straight up tells you that, yeah, actually, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Because everyone is around here like being so charitable, being so good. Like, listen, they may think this way. There may be some of these hidden nuances that we don't understand. What about this interaction over here?
the black
What about
box
this
of
writing
the
practice
production.
over here? What about this evolution of the industry, treating the work? And the writer is just like, no, actually, I don't know anything. So like,
And we know that studios are actively hiring people who don't have a comprehensive knowledge of the source material, that they find it desirable
want to
hire
have,
people.
yeah.
Exactly.
And in some cases, when they have consultants, real time, they'll ignore people who were involved with the production of that for experts.
It was not the studios that didn't hire or
The
it was the
lawyers.
She-Hulk writers that chose not to hire legal advisors for law scenes, for court scenes.
Fucking stupid. But yeah, it's like never consulting with anyone that works in like a police or detective work for a detection movie.
I can actually defend that to a certain extent if they wanted to go
Not with
full
the funding
board
they had. No, you
crazy,
cannot.
wacky, satirical thing, but they did
No,
not pull
even
off
then,
that.
I disagree.
well.
In order to write satire,
Yes.
you have to know what you are satirizing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
agree.
terrible.
I agree. You definitely could have brought in someone other than a legal expertise. There
I
are
think-
ways to get around this creativity. As a creative, there are ways to get around actually not knowing it, but you have to have
Not
a
when you're
certain.
selling your series as a new Ally McBeal, no.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
if I
okay,
was in charge of this project and you told me
Okay.
this is the amount of
If that
resources
is
we
how
have
they
to
market
pursue,
it, that would be false advertisement if they wanted to have a realistic thing. But oh God, I swear it's also the marketing between the marketing and the creatives. There's definitely some disconnect between there that causes a lot of problems within the expectation that audiences will have and what the product they actually get, and that's definitely worth criticizing.
I think the big problem with Madam Web, however, is that nobody cared. And the reason nobody
True.
cared was because the
I don't
movie
care.
itself had to be made. Every 5 years, Sony has to make a Spider-Man film or the rights revert back to Marvel. Now, they've got a deal where they're leasing out Spider-Man to Marvel to make all kinds of money. But
It's a
still,
great
contractually, they
corporation.
have to make a Spider-Man themed movie with some of the characters that they own. So every few years, you're going to get something that looks like Morbius, that looks like Venom, that looks like Madam Web, that really doesn't do a whole lot to build the universe, and doesn't really have to have any quality. The only thing it has to do is keep that property, that IP, within the boundaries of Sony Pictures.
Oh, shoot.
Listen, all I'm trying to
she
say
said
is if I
IP.
was in charge of this project, I would have fired everyone involved. But that's just
I love that Dakota said it's part of the Marvel universe. She actually said that when she was on the SNL. Like that was like her little rah. So is it even considered that? It was because it's in association with Marvel. That's about it. Yeah. Like it's a Marvel film, everybody. Praise it.
Yeah, there's a Marvel logo right in front of the film. So
Therefore,
They tagged the wrong Marvel studio in one of their tweets. Because there's one that is more
Listen,
like
it was just an
Universal.
intern.
Yeah, exactly. But they specifically contacted like the Disney branch of Marvel rather than like Marvel in general or something, like the Marvel Entertainment that like that would have been relevant to Sony. They tagged specifically the Disney Marvel branch.
Yeah, look how
from so
confusing
far,
all
yeah?
this shit's getting. All the divisions of Marvel, all the divisions of all this stuff. It just makes it
Question,
hard.
guys. How does the cost of making the movie compare with the renewal / renegotiating of the licensing? So I mean,
well, they
guess
paid
you
for
just
the
use it.
they paid for the IP a long time ago. They actually bought it outright with the condition that they have to make a movie within 5 years. So every 5 years they have to make another movie. Otherwise, the rights go back. They don't have
for
to
free. They're
for
not
free.
bought back. They're nothing. They're
They're
just
not
gone.
bought back. They just go back. Where I think it's different with Universal and the Hulk, because they haven't made a Hulk movie in forever and they still own the rights for it, for the Hulk. But for Sony, that's what the deal was. And back then, Marvel, the comic book company, was desperate for funds, and they were making deals left and right with every single
Selling everybody.
production company was out there with different rights. And that's the one that Sony got, and then Universal got what they got. So it's different for each company. But
I suppose, yeah, it does. It seems it costs less to make a movie than to try and buy that back after somebody else has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't lose too much money, they're fine with it.
Okay, let's keep going, guys.
I paid a weekly to kind of come in and do some things because there was a studio executive who was already supervising 5 or 6 different movies and said, I don't understand this. I need in a line of dialogue for somebody to point out A, B, C, D, E, whether it's right or wrong. And then that gets written, and then the director's like, fuck it, I gotta shoot this thing 5 different ways. Or I'm trying in my cut to make sure that this doesn't make it in, but then said executive still keeps saying, we need this moment, and then you put the moment in there. So like, what I'm trying to say is that, success has many fathers, or but failure's an orphan. Like, to this day, as many writers on Armageddon, you still can't find me the writer that will claim credit for the animal cracker scene. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just.
Well, what you're
Spanish
saying,
too charitable.
there's many factors at
Let's
play,
see.
and we should.
Okay, but if you can't point out the individual who wrote the animal cracker scene, can you not still say that's bad writing?
You have an issue. Then you have an issue. You can't point out who put that scene into the movie. Who the fuck is in charge? Where did that scene come from?
Yeah, it comes down to management, communications between these different people. Definitely comes down to who should be held accountable, and there should be someone in charge of all this stuff. And the fact that you can't point to one person is just like almost seems like a scapegoat method. Okay, obfuscation of whose responsibility it is. This is my primary concern with him coming in. I mean, yes, what he's saying, a lot of it's correct, but he's sort of just running defense that we don't know. Okay, we can just criticize the film then. Okay, and be like, all these people, someone needs to step up and take freaking charge. Okay, as fans, I think that is something that should be pushed. If you want these properties,
he does say that you can criticize the film, right? The writer does say that you can criticize the film for things like that, but outside of the animal cracker scene, he softballs every example they try and throw at him. He says, no, those are basically just decisions or creative decisions that you don't like, that don't land for you, that don't work for you.
So actually what Hydra said, which is
right.
your fault, that you don't like it. Like you may
Or
say that as a
passing the
joke.
buck.
But you said that as a joke.
It wasn't as a joke.
It
wasn't as a joke. He was speaking very seriously
yeah.
about
I know that there is a very powerful narrative that is exactly perpetuating this message of if you have a very strong critique about certain subjects, then there is absolutely 0% possibility that you have any real rational problem with this piece of art. It's actually you are the problem. If you don't like it, then always you're the problem. There is this crowd and this narrative that is just getting more and more powerful these days for some reason, and I think it hurts the conversation.
What's the animal cracker scene? Is the association I have is somehow the
So Aerosmith is playing while Ben Affleck puts cookies in Liv Tyler, who's Aerosmith's daughter's panties, on screen for some reason, and it's supposed to be romantic.
Okay, I mean, it's more than just that. Like he is.
That's not what I thought it was.
I don't remember that in Madam Web.
No, he's playing with the animal crackers on her tummy, and then I think that he does eventually slip them under her like underwear. But I mean, it's very weird. It's very weird. I don't defend it. I like
with Aerosmith in the background. Okay, that's what made sense.
The music choice with the particular actress was very strange.
I saw that scene 37 times, and 37 times I was absolutely disgusted.
I'm sure.
You never thought about it that way. Oh well, now you can't unthink about it that way.
I'm not
Okay,
going to
let's
think
go.
about it at all after this.
Thank
Move
you.
on.
Shouldn't I'm assuming you're not saying all the time, but generally speaking, we shouldn't be blaming writers for bad writing sometimes, or
When
are you
can we,
saying
though? That's what
because
When
sometimes
can we hold writers accountable?
Right, that's
Here's the thing.
thing.
Some movies are just poorly written.
Right.
Like,
Correct.
there are any
Thank you. He does concede that. That's good.
what we're talking about, though. We're just
It's
trying
not
to
the
separate
writer's
those
fault.
things. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like you're gonna bring up studio interference.
Some movies are poorly written, and it's
Case
not
in
the writer's
point,
fault.
Madam
I like
Web.
that, Gray. But
Again,
it's not the writer's fault.
obfuscation.
Can you tell me where the poor writing came from?
Yeah, it came from
Like,
thin
really
air,
specific.
apparently.
I think they should go back. Personally, I think they should go back to what is good writing and have a discussion like that. Because I don't think
Maybe.
it's very clear that they don't, as Gray brought up, or it was Cat True brought up, they keep on bringing up sort of examples, and he keeps on just saying that's a decision. They should have dove into,
What is writing? Yeah.
yeah,
What is a right-
writing at a
what
baseline?
does a
Okay,
writer have
why
control
are you
over?
saying this is just a creative decision? Let's dive into this, a certain example, to see where we have a problem with it and why you don't see there's a problem with this scene that we're finding, and sort
Listen,
of
if
giving
in the
that
next
sort of
Star
overlap.
Wars movie they make lightsabers massive inflatable dildos, that is just a creative decision. Okay,
Okay, he might not
can have
know
no
anything
reason
about
about it.
that.
Everything is just a
there-
creative decision, guys. By this
I can
measure.
imagine he doesn't know much about science fiction. That's why he's just waving
No,
it off.
no. He saw all the Star Wars films in the theater when they first came out, like even 77.
Okay.
Like he's a big Star Wars fan.
Oh,
Just letting you
Yeah,
know.
dive into why you get this
Therefore-
particular example. It's just a decision you don't like. Okay. This is why I don't, people would go over, this is why I don't like this particular example. Why do you think this is just a decision that you're willing to defend as just a decision you don't like? Explain how
Yeah.
this is good within the context of the film. That's the
that's
way
even-
you would actually drill into this man here. It's sort of a wasted opportunity if they didn't do that, in my personal opinion. But
It goes,
You
it
know,
goes
I
back
think
to a
credit
question-
and blame go hand in hand. If
Yeah,
someone
they
is going to
should.
take credit for one thing, if they take credit for the success, they should take credit for the failure.
in an ideal world, that should
I
be
agree.
how it
And
goes,
I
but
think
yeah.
I think you can also, if you want to blame Burt Sharpless and Matt Sazama for bad writing, I think you actually have a really good foot to stand on, because both of them worked on Morbius, both of them worked on Gods of Egypt, both of them worked on The Last Witch Hunter, and both of them worked on Dracula Untold. All studio movies that got made, but did not have very much acclaim for writing. So they by their own examples and their own history have written work equivalent to Madam Web, and show absolutely zero growth when it comes to
yeah, and when
writing.
you're trying to obfuscate by saying studio interference for their failures as writers and directors, can't you do the same for when they have successes? It could be the studio interference that actually made a certain film or movie, television show, medium and Vinny type successful. It sort of
Absolutely.
negates the blame and the credit.
I
Both
take
ways.
the
just line of thinking.
position that there's plenty of blame and plenty of credit at all levels.
I think the writing
Yeah.
sucked.
Okay,
And
so
only writers write.
mhm.
See, this
Whether-
is like
Yeah,
why I like
well-
criticizing novels. There's really just
Only
primarily
one.
just one person to focus
Yeah.
on. Okay,
Um,
sometimes it's the editing that's the problem and sensitivity readers, but let's not get into that whole mess here.
So what Sokav actually had a good question earlier on as well about what actually is, because we're talking about good writing, bad writing, and a lot of the time that obviously we can just argue is subjective, right? If you like it or not, which isn't, that's how you could do it. Oh, you just didn't like those creative decisions. But in the context of Madam Web, it's like your movie really stunk, because he was asking, his question was what do we consider a successful movie, or what is a failed movie? What's a badly written movie? And it's mostly it's a whole combination of the things that he listed, Sokov, which was whether it broke even, what the public thought, what critics thought. It's a whole, I think it's a whole combination of that. And the consensus around Madam Web, which is what caused this discussion, right, was that the writers, what was so bad about this movie, which was there was a lot that was wrong with it, but what was so bad was just the way it was written, the actual dialogue, that whole stuff. People have lost their minds about it. So on all fronts, it seems that this movie has failed. So that's what it means. And in terms of the context of this conversation, is that it's a discussion among writers. This Chio guy is a writer. The rest are critics, I suppose. So he is kind of defending the writers, saying that the writers are they're not always
as a monument, basically.
Yeah.
That's
He's in a hard spot, though. Okay,
Mm.
as a
No,
writer, a
she
working
is.
writer, he needs to defend the writers so that he can continue to work in Hollywood. As far as Madam Web being a success or a failure, it's only a failure at the box office. It is a success in Sony's eyes because it keeps
Corporate
them
decision,
the IP.
yep,
Okay.
exactly.
So what you have here is one win and several failures. You would like for them to have multiple wins where it's good writing, it does well in the theaters, it brings them money, and it satisfies the IP legality of it all.
But the guys on the top don't really care about that. Just the
But
one
no,
win that they secured.
they spent the least amount of money. They got a film out. They got it distributed. They met all their quotas behind the scenes for the DEIA and all that other kind of good stuff. And so they consider it a win, whether it makes money or not.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah,
like when you do a
what is it?
minimum effort group project.
yes. Everybody got a D or a C.
Yeah, they spent, what is it? They spent more than Joker, but significantly less than they would on any other project.
Yes.
Okay. Is there
So it
more
did good.
here? Shall we?
Whether we
Well,
like
there's
it
a
or not.
lot of interesting stuff here, but I think
Yeah,
we've
what-
covered it all in concept.
But what we want is there a point where I should go where it gets the most heated? Because the discussion we wanted to go on about
Oh.
this after this is when we disagree on the internet. That's the next topic.
Yeah,
but
To be honest, they start agreeing pretty soon. This
Oh,
is
no,
kind of the
wait.
most heated part.
No, it is not. Jedi
Fight!
Brooks. No, Jedi
Disagreement on the
Brooks
I
internet. Let's
disagree
go.
with-
really heated. Gosh, I don't have the timestamp for it, but
Sure, you don't.
It didn't happen. So.
It is the
I just mean around
about, like-
here. It would be within a few minutes of this where it gets the most heated. They get a little bit more agreeable in the future.
no, it is actually about like halfway through this.
While
Yeah.
you're looking for that, if I may pontificate on the difference
Sure, 1
between, say, an artistic decision as a writer that can be left up to the viewer's interpretation versus what can reasonably be considered objectively good or bad writing. If I were writing something and I wanted a post-apocalyptic world in which everything is shit, right? And I wanted to reinforce this idea that this is a shit world, everything is terrible. I might make an artistic decision that, say, everything is shades of brown and yellow. The clothes, the architecture, the food, all
No brown,
shades of brown and yellow. That
Watch out for that. Fallout 3 did that.
California,
You
yeah?
got criticized.
It's just generally there was an age of games with the piss filter, but yeah.
that's
Sepia.
an artistic decision that might work for someone and not for another. But you can objectively, but when you're writing and say you have a character and you're following this main character, you know as a writer, you want them to start in place A and you want to get them to place Z and face these challenges in between and go on some sort of journey. if you cannot be consistent with that, if your characters are saying, if you establish certain character traits and then those traits disappear from scene to scene, you can
That's bad
call those
writing,
out
yeah.
as inconsistently
Hmm.
bad and therefore objectively bad. So
Yeah, but there are cases. I don't mean to poison the well with this or to obfuscate, but there are cases like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
Today.
Fight Club, and other particular movies where consistently inconsistent works, but it depends on the circumstances that you're working within. That I just want to bring up that particular fact. Yes, the
No, that does not necessarily mean that.
And it looks like we found the part Andrew wanted to mention.
discuss.
But the point of that being is, I think you can sort of separate what is an artistic decision versus in the writing versus specific, like tangible character writing.
Yeah,
the
it would have to
words.
be established or at least revealed later. You have an unreliable narrator or some other trick up your trade. If you just have it inconsistent without any sort of reason for that inconsistency, it's definitely going to be what I would consider bad writing. Okay.
I'm not sure
That's
bad
awful.
color grading and editing could be attributed to writing, though.
No, that's a creative decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like what is it?
That would be a choice.
Well, if the idea comes
artistic
from
choice.
the writer, though.
Oh yeah, you're saying like, well, I mean, yeah, we've had that with Mistborn. Everything is grey, and then
Exactly.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah,
These particularly good. You get a number of people who are flash in the pans. They do one. The Wachowskis, for example, did one very, very good thing with the Matrix, and everything after that's been pretty naff, I would say. It's being good once does not mean that you get a free ride forever. Surely.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, if you knew how hard it was to get to the level of being able to do some of these things, I think from that perspective, just to say that someone's like shit because you don't like the rest of their movies, I don't think that's really fair. I mean,
what?
Yeah, pause. Okay, there
What?
is a concept out there. It happens with a lot of things that someone gets this breakaway success. They get a lot of independence and they get this breakaway success, and then they start getting studio guidance. Like Fallout's a great example of that. Okay. Also, The Matrix. I don't know if that's the case, but the Fallout is a great case of that. Studio interference, making decisions with Tim Kaine, coming in and mandating things. He opted out. Okay. He was like, second one, he was out after that. There are decisions as a creative person. You can just be like, okay, I'm out of this.
I guess that happens with bands even, where it's like you start off liking a band and then they see some success and then their music style changes and then the diehard fans start calling them shit because they were good initially. I mean, it does happen. It
does keep this in mind. It's not a defense. It's just something to be aware of moving forward with something.
No, I think he's being disingenuous because he wants to keep working in Hollywood.
Yeah, that is a very big possibility. A very big possibility.
Because there is this thing that, like, yeah, you did something really great, but that doesn't take away the shitness of the shit that you perform after that. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
It's still you.
I don't think the Matrix, the second Matrix movie, whatever it was called, was shit. It definitely was. It was the last movie that really just.
Well, I mean, the way the platoon spoke about it, I don't know if he meant like the whole Matrix or just.
Well, Matrix,
Matrix
one,
versus
the original
others.
Matrix was self-contained. The sort of 2 and 3 were sort of connected. So.
Well,
unfortunately,
I really don't think you could blame the Wachowskis for being inconsistent. I mean, they started the entire franchise when they were men and now they're women.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, of course, yes. Now they're different.
I'm gonna.
So because it's fans,
Yeah, I
We
was
do that
gonna
all the
say,
time.
yeah.
As fans, constantly in the NBA, someone will say, "Oh, this person sucks. They're a bench warmer." When they got in, they only scored 3 points. And then you see that same player at the YMCA, and they're cooking everybody for 40 or 50 points.
Well, yeah, but that's the YMCA, though, man. Like, we are comparing these writers to other Hollywood writers. We're not comparing.
You're comparing writing a movie. This is YMCA shit.
We're comparing them to other movies.
Because I mean,
other Hollywood
if you understood how hard it is to even get a movie made,
You keep mentioning that the difficulty. We do understand that.
Yes,
Like, you gotta let that go.
we do.
And Platoon's point was about how the writing. Just a second, if I can finish my point.
Ooh, yeah, this is nice and heated.
It wasn't
Oh,
just
it
the
gets
producing
hotter.
issues in the Disney Star Wars trilogy. It was the fact that they had to make these studio decisions because of the quality of Ryan's writing. He derailed the entire trilogy. That's why they brought JJ back. This whole thing is being documented. You have to actually reference the things that we're talking about. Because Platoon's point was about the writing was the whole reason they had to make the studio decisions. And you didn't address that.
all right, so I'll address it. I'm addressing it 5 different ways, but that's fine.
No, just one clear way. Just one clear way for us.
Yeah, I
That's all
like
we need.
this. Okay. Pin him down on one thing.
One shakes his finger at him.
You keep asking the same question.
No, I'm
different
asking
ways,
one
and then
question, and
accusing
you're
me
giving me
of-
5 very terrible answers. Like, you're just like,
That's good.
Let's be nice. Let's be polite.
No, no, it's
Oh, there we go. If only. No, what are you doing? Oh, Gordon's changing the color of my keyboard. Thank you. He made it orange.
it's not impolite.
He made it. He made it the piss filter.
Oh, come on.
Are you trying to deflect just like this guy is this like
No,
meta commentary
sorry,
kid
it's
is?
just-
Okay.
No, I literally just.
I
got
was wondering if
distracted.
this was
No,
some
she
meta
will literally
commentary.
sabotage her own PC just to avoid this conversation topic. She's embarrassed.
No,
Yes.
no, it's literally just my little brain going squirrel.
You're not a
Okay.
Jedi. What
Shiny.
is your name?
oh my god.
Who are you coming at?
Oh, what?
It's a very simple question I asked you. Oh my god.
It's not impolite because you're not a Jedi. What is your name?
Oh my god.
What?
Who are you coming at?
I don't understand.
Okay, I sort of like this, but it's still
Why?
avoiding.
Okay,
it's
that's
avoiding it. It's funny, but it's avoiding the
low blow.
question.
That's silly. You know what?
Oh.
It's funny. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's not as harsh as it could have been. We could have been like, "Who the fuck are you? You're not a fucking Jedi." It could have been worse. But that
How
was
dare you
like,
have an internet nickname?
People will forgive you if you answer if you're funny with your
yeah,
response.
yeah.
Okay, because
It's a very
because-
simple question I
because-
asked you. If you feel strongly enough about this point, you should be able to answer it with confidence rather than making fun of my name.
I am
Yes, boy.
not making fun of your name.
That's
What-
exactly what he did.
You
What I'm
did.
saying is
Come
that
on.
whether I'm right or wrong, I'm Cheo Odari Coker. And you can attack me personally or
Oh, so now I'm not
What
making fun of your
he's
name.
posturing about whether or not you are going to attack
About
him
being-
personally.
No,
you are
he's
doing
baited.
it right now.
This is
You're
a
doing it
complete
right
bait.
now.
This is a complete bait. Okay.
How does he know he's not ordained? But like that's insane. Like, so he's now just a this is a deflection. He's criticizing the fact that he's not under
He's a
his full
moniker. He's
name.
using a pen name
Been saying-
that he's not
been
using
saying-
his real name.
But there's this whole ass face in your face. But okay,
not personally either way. What I'm saying is that when you're
and that isn't a good enough answer. This is not a good enough answer. I hope he gets to one.
coming at
Sounds
me,
like he's
and
being
I'm saying this to
disingenuous.
externals. I'm saying this to somebody else.
Still haven't answered
If,
the
I,
question. by the way.
if I'm answering your question and you don't like the way that I'm answering your question,
Oh well, there you go. You don't like the way I answered my question. You don't like the way I wrote my story.
My answer was to
It's-
make fun of your name personally, yes.
I-
And then posture
you know
about
what?
personal attacks. Thank you. Very
Well,
helpful.
he doesn't have to answer the question that way.
My
That is
favorite
true.
Hydra's answer applies to everything. It's your fault for not liking it.
This is
You
the
don't like my
greatest
answer.
example
How
of
dare
being
you have
disingenuous.
standards.
So he's got no answer for him. He's going to
he's
do a
just
personal
going blah,
attack.
blah,
He's going to
blah. Yeah.
deflect. And the next thing you know, he's probably, I haven't seen this video, so I don't know for sure,
Hmm.
but maybe he's going to play the black card.
But they're both, we're black men here.
And he's
obviously,
doing
better
it
not
with
do
the
that.
other black guy on
No,
the
no,
panel.
he better
So
not do
black
that.
on
I
black
don't think he does
violence.
that.
I
It's
don't
it
like
is
those
really
rules.
bad
I
optics,
intent
guys.
until
Okay,
I see it.
considering
let's not assume.
wait, hold on.
Let's-
Considering
sue
that
him,
he's in Hollywood and the current day climate, that's a good guess, but luckily it doesn't go there.
Okay, it doesn't go there. And,
Good.
Thank
I
goodness.
thought it would go to the "you're a critic, you don't know" kind of thing. You just watch movies, you just consume them, you don't make them. Or does Jedi make anything? Is he a creator? He's only a creator online. He's not a movie person. There is that kind of rift between new media and old media. Yes, good faith Hydra. Hydra's like, don't go there.
Keep accusing me of dodging your question. Doesn't make any damn sense because I've answered it 4 different ways.
Okay, tell me. Go back.
Have you though?
Diagram it for me though.
He hasn't
I need
answered it in a
notes.
single way. He chose to make fun of someone.
I was asking
But
you
we
to answer
skipped
Platoon's
over the 5
know,
different
like,
ways.
wasn't my
Andrew, can
question.
you give us
You
a summary capsule of his 5 different ways or Gray? You
Supposedly
watched
used?
this.
Okay, so the point that
also
the
watched it.
question that Little Platoon says is that when we see bad writing, how do we criticize it? And he especially okay, and in particular, he talked about he gave him the example of Rian Johnson's writing in The Last Jedi and how they had to address the bad writing in The Last Jedi in the next movie, in The Rise of Skywalker. And those were studio mandates, sure, but they were because of Rian's writing. And he wanted to ask, how do we criticize that you think is fair? And he danced around the topic by saying things like, you just didn't like Luke Skywalker being, a defeated old man. You wanted to see him be awesome. What is it?
I hate
That's
this.
I would answer that's an assumption, okay?
About how there wasn't a cohesive vision for the films. And he talked about how, what is it? Like JJ
I think it's more of a cohesive vision for the trilogy. Sorry to nitpick.
Yeah, but
the
he
fact
wasn't
that they
contributing
had
that to writing at all. And he was also saying there's so much interference that you can't blame the writers, but he would never actually answer directly, like, when could you actually blame the writing?
Yeah, that's
it
the
seemed to
point.
be
They were
kind
trying
of-
to get to, he wasn't asking him to describe the situation. He was specifically asking, or Little Platoon was specifically asking, I can't pronounce his name. I've heard it like several times, but Choker. He was asking him, or Little Platoon was asking Choker, how and when can we criticize the writing? Here is an example. How do we do it?
That's a good example of
And
where you can
he
criticize the
didn't
writing.
answer that question. He described the situation. He described the situation 5 different times, but he didn't answer the question of how do we criticize it?
And that's it. Now he's trying to pretend later on that he did answer them.
Well, because he gave an answer, but it was describing the situation. It wasn't answering the question.
Well, kind of implied you
that was
can't
asked.
blame the writer because you don't know
Yeah,
who did each individual like line or whatever. So it would be
In that case,
disingenuous.
you
That's
can
an
blame
issue.
it. Even if it's
in
untrue,
particular-
Rian Johnson was the sole writer who
Right.
didn't
In particular-
redraft it. That's a great example of something where
you know
can
that
hold
certain
it.
characters weren't forced to be more prominent or less prominent or something like that. Like there wasn't some
Right.
sort of interference or the
So
cut
the
that
spirit of the
studio didn't want.
conversation, from what it seems to be, is that there needs to be some overarching role or overseer or someone that obviously has some responsibility
Yes, accountability.
about
Yeah.
how
okay?
everything ties together. And you can't just say, well, this person per se wasn't directly involved with that part over there, so they can't be responsible for how the whole thing turns out. And
I mean,
obviously
just-
there has to be someone like
Hold
this,
on,
otherwise
guys,
good
hold on.
He
Hold
should
on.
just admit that
Hold on,
they're not
wait.
going to be
Vincent,
transparent
hold on.
about this stuff if that's how he
Vincent.
feels.
Vincent. In particular, this question was asked because Choker said you can criticize writer directors because they have the most control.
Yeah.
And so that's why they brought up The Last Jedi. That's why they brought up the Rian Johnson making decisions that will have to be later addressed. He said, how do we criticize like The Last Jedi? He was talking anyways, and so he'll go back over it.
Yeah,
There's
it'll be
there's an
video.
assumption here, though, that the studio notes and the interference somehow went up after Ryan made his film for them, and I don't think that's the case. I think there was as much interference with it as they had there. It's just that everybody was on the same page. When it didn't work out, changes were made, but there was just as much studio interference and notes during Ryan Johnson's stint as there was with anybody else's.
Yeah, I think that there's actually a big case for studio interference in The Last Jedi because of Crate. Crate feels tacked on. It feels like he wanted to end it before Crate or without Crate. And so, like, just have the last, like, more or less scene be the, what do you call it, the throne room fight and the fallout from that, and then end the film without the battle for Crate. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but this has always stuck out to me as being something like a second, third act, almost.
I have no opinion on it.
Anyways, let's get to the
So one
the
of the questions,
resolution.
the resolution. Well, yes, the resolution is what we want. What the second part of the discussion would have been about. But I do want to. So was this man's point? Who do we blame eventually? Well, he's like, well, we can't blame the writers. So did he say? But is he basically saying blame the executive?
He wasn't going that far.
But
Like
he
it seemed to be,
wasn't-
like who did that cracker scene? Like nobody's taking credit for it, so you can't blame the writing. I don't know. He
Well,
seemed
he
to be
didn't say
conflating writer
that.
and writing.
He's saying that
It's-
nobody will take credit for bad writing.
But they're asking, how do we
Which is-
blame writing?
Agreed. I think
Okay.
that he has a lot of excuses. He doesn't have a lot of answers.
Let's
also,
go.
at the end of the day,
very
we
good
as
point
the
you made.
audience
And then you moved on to
cannot judge what we don't see. We see the final product, so that's what we get to critique or enjoy.
Which is exactly what Little Platoon's point at the really is that he's not
Criticize
trying
the
to
whole
lay
thing.
blame on one person on the list of writers. He's just criticizing the writing in general.
Yeah,
And-
just
and-
however this got to us, it is an abomination, and yeah.
I kind of forgot the order. Did he? So there was one other explanation that he gives, and I'm not sure if it's the one that he's about to give. Did he give the 3 parts of writing before this?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So he was saying, like, when a film is written, like, it's really written 3 times. It's written when it's written on paper. It's written when it's actually, like, filmed by the director. And then it's also written again in the editing room. And it's like, fair enough. It is changed. But I think you could still say, like, what was received, whatever writing is in there, the dialogue, the actual scenes, the way it's all put together, it doesn't seem like it was written well. I think there's a difference between blaming the writer and writing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, let's go.
I know, like, you're tilted here. It wasn't my question. You ignored a very good point that he made, and then you moved on to something that you had already mentioned.
Wait,
Well,
hold
to be fair,
hold back, hold back,
to be
hold
fair,
back, wait,
Wait,
hold on,
wait, so-
hold back.
so-
ganging up on
wait, wait.
somebody.
I'm not ganging up. I'm
Kitty.
asking a very,
No, no,
very
Kitty, pull it back, because he said something very important that I would like to address. Jedi Brooks did. There, press play.
that he made, and then you moved on to something that you had already mentioned.
Well, to be fair, to be fair,
it was right before that. It was right before that.
Toon's question. This is how I know, like, you're tilted here. It wasn't my question.
Right.
You
Press pause.
ignored a very
So what he did there is, like, he threw in to the conversation. That's how I know you're tilted. So I feel like that, while very likely, is extremely unhelpful. It's like throwing up a roadblock, throwing up the conversation. It's something that you feel, and you feel like maybe is accurate, and you kind of have to account for it. But I feel like,
I don't know, man.
throwing up
I
the
gotta push back on
acknowledgement-
you. I feel like that's pretty mild considering Chio Hodari Coker just called him out and was like, your name isn't Jedi. Like, what the hell? My name is out there. Like, you can look.
I
up
hear
my
what
name.
you're saying.
What's your
And
name?
if,
So,
if
I don't know. That's pretty mild.
he's
to be
trying to
like,
win the
hey,
argument, if he's
how I
trying to
can
win the
tell you're
argument,
twisted.
I hear what you're saying. What is it? If he's trying to win the argument, if he's trying to score points, then you're right. That is the correct move. You want to be throwing up roadblocks. You want to be throwing up obstacles for your opponent. But that isn't conducive to what is that? That's not conducive to getting your answer or your question answered.
No,
And
this
that's
isn't
my
a
point.
dialogue. This is an argument. So you have somebody out there who's belittling the person talking to invalidate what they're having to say because he can't do it by answering the question correctly. So, again, we're going back to this guy being disingenuous and not really trying to answer the question, who should you blame for a bad script?
Indeed. But let's continue on because things do get better.
Okay, let's see how they go through this.
Very good point that he made, and then you moved on to something that you had already mentioned.
Well, to be fair, to be fair,
So
ganging up on somebody.
I'm not ganging up. I'm
Yeah.
asking a very,
No,
very simple
I'm just
question.
saying.
So
To
what
be
is your
fair,
specific question?
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
like,
What was your
he's
response to
grown.
Platoon's
I
point?
mean,
about
the
writing?
lightsaber's in your hand. What's your question?
I'll repeat it again since you talked over me.
Please do.
Basically, what was your response to Platoon's question? Because it was a really good point.
So what's the point? What's the question?
He made it. I'll make it again for you since you ignored it.
Well, no, because
Oh yeah, I don't think that's worth it. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're pushing back. I know it's mild, but it's not functional. It's not. It's jabs. It's adding fuel to the fire. Just keep going. Since you did this, it's just you're adding spice. It's just relax. We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's very tempting to do that.
It's very understandable that he would do that because of what has happened before, but it's tactically the wrong move if he wants to get the answer.
Yeah.
Well, Brooks fell in for what Coker was doing. Okay, he fell into
Yeah,
the
he
trap.
did. He took the bait.
Yeah.
He took the bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is entertaining. Yeah, Lucy, it is. It is. Jabs. Yeah, no, he's taking jabs. Jab. He is doing that, and that is mild. I agree with Gray that it's really mild. He's not going fuck you. He's not like that. That is honestly, it's the most polite passive aggressive aggression. It's like it's irritating. That's it. That's
It's a
what
no
it is.
contact slap fight.
Yeah, exactly. It's just but it doesn't help calm down the other person, and it's not going to help you. It's just going to make him want to put another jab in, another fight back. It's not going to help. But it's very tempting. Like, I know when you're frustrated with the person, it's very tempting to just be like, because you're a little bitch kind of thing, basically.
It was basically the producer issues in TLJ and the Disney Star Wars trilogy was because of the writing. It wasn't just that the studio choices they made was because of the poor writing. That's a significant factor in the things.
It wasn't poor writing. It was decisions that were made that didn't work.
Oh my God!
Decisions that were made because of the writing, right? That's what he's going to say next. The decisions were. That's what I understood from this abstract conversation.
Okay,
Kitty, I didn't attack you. I merely
let me be
moved
good
my
faith
arm
and grant
directly
him that.
into your face.
Let me grant him that. It was just a bad movie, okay? But the writing and directing, everything was bad, okay? Including the writing. Can't just focus on the writing. It's everything. That seems fair, right?
Did she?
So, perfect example is this is answering your question directly.
No, it's not answering the question. It's not acknowledging the question. The question actually has this encompassing assumption in, which is that those changes that didn't work, admittedly, were because of the writing. Yes, is that how I understood it? Is that how it should be understood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and he didn't answer under that. He didn't understand the question. Therefore, he could not understand. He could not answer it.
Because what I'm saying is that movie got greenlit. Enough people read that script and
meander. That's not answering the question, but I understand.
Shared accountability.
We're just gonna talk about it. We'll just talk around it.
Rosales, I feel like, is
debate.
Rosales is very accurate when he's saying that he's got to do this dance in order to
Yeah,
maintain
he's
work
got
in
a-
the industry.
Yeah, he's got an agenda that he's got to.
Just in
he's
case
gotta-
anyone
yeah.
watches this.
Mm.
Toe the party line, the script.
And thought at the time, this is the way that we're going with this, because they empowered their director to make decisions that even I as a fan didn't necessarily like. But here's the thing about it, is that just because we didn't like those decisions, does that mean it's a poor screenplay? 'Cause if you read
Yes.
the
Yes.
screenplay-
Can I just say, just because a bunch of corporate executives greenlight a script doesn't mean that said script is good, was a good go ahead.
No, they need to go
greenlight.
back to the writing.
Would you agree with
Go-
that? Like, if
Well,
a script can
I
be
mean,
terrible.
Again, okay.
Yeah, like the script can be
example
bad.
Studio is different, okay? Because
Yeah, exactly. So I don't. And we can't even put all of these. Each movie is different. Everything. Each production is different. Yes, there's certain trends, but we can't. We actually need to look at each one on its own and look at it and discuss what went wrong on its own. Because
Yeah, don't go with the deflection. Lofty's making a mistake here. Just letting him go with the deflection. Let him defend these choices and why
Yes,
these choices that he
yeah.
say aren't bad writing. I want to hear him explain that.
Yeah,
Because
go back.
maybe-
Go to
But
the
exact-
exact
when it
point that you were busy explaining. But now this helps him. This does help him go off to something else. It helps him
Yeah,
not answer
it
the
lets
question.
him
You're right.
take a different line of attack
Yeah,
and get
yeah.
into his narrative that he's building. It's the
Mm.
get off that narrative. We're talking about the writing.
Stick
You
to
wanna
one
deflect,
question at a
okay.
time. Yeah.
If
Well,
a script can be terrible,
but again, okay.
yeah, like the script
Each
can be
example
bad.
in the studio is different, okay? Because when you're talking about corporate execs, when it comes to the Star Wars trilogy, it's Kathleen Kennedy, it's J.J. Abrams, it's Ryan Johnson. It's a very small committee of people, okay? And so
He's claiming to
what
be a
they
writer.
thought they were going-
Why not talk about the writing? Okay, he's made his stance on deflect with the execs. What about the actual
Yeah.
writing? Sorry.
What about the
I
fact
have
that
to
Ryan
reiterate
Johnson claimed that he was going to deconstruct Star Wars and disappoint fans?
Well, there
And
that
he
comes
did
back
say
to what
that he was
Dorkus
gonna do
spoke
that.
about
That
earlier.
was his
When he's
point.
like, we have
think
the
that was
writers
cope.
saying these
But-
things. We have them saying we didn't know what we were doing with the script and things like that. We have them doing those things. We have them saying that was their objective. Things like that. But that's another example. That's another show of it's not always these execs. Writers also say this.
I think it's just
So-
Ryan Johnson realizing that fans don't like it, some cope, and he kept going along that lines. He made himself like with Nick's movies, Knives Out and freaking Glass Onion. That's just an insult to fans of the mystery
Good
genre,
movies.
especially
Good
the
movies. Yeah,
second
it's just
one.
satire, man. It's just
Okay, yeah,
like
the
scary
satire
movie.
shield. Okay, it's
No, it's
the
just
way-
dumb. It's just dumb.
That's fine.
Great placement. I got nothing to say about.
Okay, let's go.
going for was different than how people regarded it.
I mean, to be fair,
I think that I didn't agree with a lot of decisions in that movie.
Mhm.
But am I going to say that Ryan Johnson is a bad writer or a bad director? No, I'm not.
Well, can I
I
guess?
will.
What?
I will.
Yeah, I
Can he
will.
make the bad
I will.
decisions?
He
It's not
writes
what
bad
makes him a
movies.
bad. Okay, whatever.
Specific, just
I think there was just general disagreement noises coming from us all. Thanks.
No, we all agree.
just on
Ryan
that point,
Johnson is a
because this
bad
might,
writer.
might be helpful because
Whether
I
or not
think
he
you said
chose to be a
before that
bad
some
writer.
of the people, particularly in studios
different
and
matter.
executive positions, are not quite so clued in on things like canon and continuity as fans are, which I think you've said, and I think I would agree with that, and that's a fair point to make. That I would say makes the position of the writer much more important because the writer's job, certainly in the case of The Last Jedi, if Ryan Johnson is principally responsible for the script that comes out, his job is to do what the studio executives are incapable of doing, which is paying attention to things like canon, continuity, character decisions, mechanics, and things like that. The things that make Star Wars films work fundamentally.
I think that goes back to this what we said earlier. We were talking about what would have been a great addition to this would be what is writing? What is the responsibility of the writer? What decisions does the writer have a part in? So this kind of goes back to that.
When Ryan Johnson does, to take just one very specific example, There's the hyperspace ramming sequence in The Last Jedi when Holdo turns the
There
ship
you go. He spoke dirty. He said ramming, Lucifer.
around,
Which
engages
invalidates
Lightspeed,
all of
and
Star
flies
Wars
straight
space
into the
weapon
giant enemy
history,
ship.
yeah.
Right.
That's a decision that Ryan Johnson made, right? The studios, I wouldn't have thought, would have sat there thinking, you know what we really need is specifically this purple-haired woman to fly her ship into another ship. I don't think the studio is going to pay much attention to that. Ryan Johnson made that decision. As a response to which, in the next film, you have to have this ridiculous line spoken by an extra. You can't do that again because it was a 1 in a million decision. Well, that line is made necessary because Ryan Johnson chose to do something that effectively broke the mechanics that make all Star Wars space battles work. As soon as you do it
Pause
once,
it for a
the
moment.
question becomes, well, why didn't you do
Would the, just out of curiosity, I want to hear what you guys think. Would the hyperspace ramming have worked better if the lamp shading took place in the moment rather than in the following movie? Like if Holdo had said
incrementally, but it's broken but the maneuver is broken fundamentally.
I think they
actually
would have
has-
had to set it up earlier. Someone trying to use this maneuver with superior
Like,
technology to make it more accurate.
That's the problem.
Right.
You would need to see a fail state before you could see a success state. If you,
The thing
if you
is
would have
that
saw
they doubled down on that and wrote several novels of ancient Jedi history to record that maneuver before it was called the Holdo maneuver, calling it an incident, if you will, and building an entire mythology around why people don't do that.
Yeah.
And you know,
what was that? The High Republic?
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes. So they backed them up as
Interesting.
much as they could, but then undermined that in one line in the next film.
Yeah.
It just sucks because like you've already got like Akbar in there that they take out kind of unceremoniously. Like you could have done something so cool and like had Akbar like sacrifice himself so that you could jump or something.
Yeah,
There's
it was a
there's
treasure
ways that you
trove
could have
of
gotten around that.
abilities.
Don't
Yeah.
forget
Of
the slow
course, they
chase
could have also
in space.
used Leia to make the probability, have some pseudoscience with Leia,
No,
giving her sort of a life force. It
don't-
wouldn't have
no,
made it
you don't
good,
wanna-
but it would have
you
made
don't-
it slightly better, believable.
it would have
to
been
an
better
audience.
to it would have
Come
been
on,
better
Akbar lays a
to
trap.
do an actual ram. Just do a physical ram. Not the hyperspace
loved it.
sci-fi ram,
would've-
but the actual
Okay.
ram.
Yeah, it could have worked. It could have also set the ship to explode. There's ways around it that would have been much more believable. Okay,
You
and
could
they
have
chose
just
to
had
go with
like, yeah,
the
like,
1 in a
maneuver
million.
could
The
have been
strong blue hair woman got the 1 in a million chance of pulling this off, and just conceited
Okay,
and
but-
unlikely.
You
Yeah,
could have had
I-
such a cool sequence about like, okay, here's the plan. We need to get this ship into ramming range quickly without them figuring out that we are trying to ram them. How do we get the ship there before it gets utterly blown to pieces so we can do some damage? You know, you could have had some
Oh, they
hatch
could have
plan,
used the
etc.,
Picard
something.
maneuver also.
They could-
I just realized it. The sort of quick jump so you get in close and then explode the ship. Have people going around the ship, rigging it to explode. That would have been.
You could have had a cool escape sequence of like, oh my god, I'm going to get off in time. Like
I just put the Picard maneuver for the TNG reference.
I know,
Sorry.
but it's like this scene could have been made more awesome and canon compliant in like 100 different ways.
They could stop
Yeah,
greenlighting
they went
fanfic.
with the laziest one.
But yeah, no, you don't understand it. The problem is with us. We just don't like it, and that's the problem, you know. You should just enjoy
That's
it.
my
Fuck you.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
the
bad
switch
writing.
from the Y wings. The switch from the Y wings to a completely inefficient design for the new bombers. Why would anyone make?
Where the bombs fall out of the
God,
bomber.
they did
and
it
where the
just for that
sci-fi is
one little
falling.
side scene, I guess.
Did they change them to the why nots?
There you go.
Yeah.
There is no explanation why the
Right.
rebellion switched over to bombers
Why
that are
not
incredibly
use the
slow,
Y-wing?
incredibly vulnerable, don't work properly, etc.
Bad writing. Bad writing. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Bad writing.
Bad
Oh, that's
decisions.
not- that
bad
doesn't
writing.
make
It can be
sense.
both.
Bad
also. It can be bad
decisions.
decisions
Bad
and bad
decisions.
writing.
You just
Bad decisions in
didn't
writing.
like it. You just didn't like it. Now let's move forward.
Okay,
Didn't like it 'cause it was
so
stupid.
part of this was to see how do we get past in an online discourse. What do we
Yeah.
do to make nice. So apparently they do make nice here, and that was one of the things that we were gonna just look into at a later stage. At some other stage, I do want to do a little bit more of a structured think about how would the ideal online debate go. And I think also it'll be interesting to actually have an example to see JMac and Sitch and Adam.
Yeah, you have to actually, for good faith debate, you
I
both
think
need to
they-
go in with sort of the idea of seeking the closest you can get to the truth. But let me not.
Yeah.
It's
That,
not
well,
going to
that, that's
happen
what
in
I'm.
internal debate, but still, you can hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to see what comes of Sitch and Adam and JMac, because they're like, they will be the goodest of good faith because they're all mates, right? So that's what I'm trying to see. It's their daddy is going to come and talk to them. So that's what I want to. When is that anyway? I guess we'll have to go and see. If, would be nice to catch that live. Okay, let's go.
Just hyperspace into the Death Star in Return of the Jedi? And why can't you hyperspace into any big enemy in any future film? And the only way around that, which I would say makes this bad writing, is to have a character just dismiss it as, oh, it's impossible to do it again. And that's itself bad writing. But that bad writing, I would have thought, stems from Rian Johnson's
bad
bad
writing
decision as a
squared.
writer to have that happen in his film to begin with. So is it fair to criticize, even on a granular case-by-case basis, can we criticize Rian Johnson alone for making that decision in The Last Jedi as an example of bad writing?
Well, of course, you can criticize him because he, as the writer-director, made decisions that the third movie is trying to talk about in response to the audience now having a voice and on a granular level, saying what they like and what they don't like. So, perfect example, okay? As this is showing my age, I remember when Return of the Jedi, which previous was Revenge of the Jedi, when that movie came out, like I remember just like as long as it took for Han to get off of Jabba's wall and all the different and the silly little laughing rat and all that other shit, like as a fan, like I could call that poor writing because I'd much rather get to Luke getting back to Dagobah and trying to find out.
You could, but you need to give a reason.
How is that bad writing?
And he's talking about a trailer. The trailer that was Revenge of the Jedi came out, I think, a year before the movie released. And but before the movie even got to the point of being released and getting posters out, they had changed the name to Return of the Jedi. So he's talking about a real early trailer where they used what footage they had to get you excited about the film. And if you're going to if you think it's okay to criticize a film based on the trailer as bad writing, then you can watch an entire film and criticize the film for having bad writing as well.
Yeah, because you have the subject.
The whole thing. I mean, he's being disingenuous again.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
His father. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can call it poor storytelling.
But the thing is back then, we didn't have a voice as fans. We basically.
So it was
Yes, you
okay
did.
then.
Come on. What
It
does this
was
even
okay
have to
then.
do with? It's how can what would you even? What is he even like? Back then, we
means
didn't
that-
have a voice as fans. Has any? Listen, I know I'm not an expert on this because I'm
I
too
think
young
he's
and I
saying
wasn't around
more
back then.
as powerful a voice. The internet wasn't a thing that could be
Wasn't
That's
as
the
loud
actual-
and
yes,
that's
but-
sort of utilized to put pressure on these places.
And
There's
I'm
a
giving
whole
you
bunch
the
of
benefit
boards,
of
there
the
were
doubt if he wasn't a
fanzines,
bad faith
but it was
asshole.
also a really
were
smaller
conventions.
audience back then, a very niche audience back then. There was less
For the
people.
nerd stuff, yeah. I would say he was
Everything did
smaller.
travel in waves from one coast to the other coast. That is absolutely 100% true. But the words did get out. Those fanzines did go from convention to convention. Those
Yeah.
message boards were online. You had to use your telephone in order to get to it, but people did talk, which is about a
Yes,
very
it
sexy
wasn't
pirate.
as big, and it
J-Mac.
wasn't quite to the level where we have it today. That's the best face way I can interpret this. Saying fans had no voice at all is technically wrong because of what we all
Yeah,
outlined,
it was.
but it's
they
not
had- yeah.
is in the
Well,
spotlight
not
now.
only that. Hold on, but not only that, but Star Trek, the original writers, they are cast and crew. They received letters after letters after letters about continuity
So
and such, and science and such.
Yeah,
and
that is. It's just.
it's
Yeah.
been they received handwritten letters about all
Yeah,
of
that's
this.
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
in a sense, they've always had a voice.
Yeah, they've always had a
If
voice.
that's what he's talking about. It just hasn't been
spoken to each other. That's the only difference. Is that I think that's what Vince is talking about now. Is that it's the fact is now we all just our letters of concern are public letters now.
Yeah, and you're
That's-
assuming George Lucas listened to the fans when he made the prequels. Okay, it
I
doesn't
don't think he
seem.
did.
No, he got tired of listening to the fans, so he sold Lucas.
Yeah. Oh well, he tried to do his own thing. You really think the prequels was feedback? You think the remastering and removing?
No,
all...
I don't think
He
I
wasn't
don't think he's
even
ever
listening
really
to
listened to
people
fans.
in the business by the time he
Yeah.
got to the prequels. He was listening to
I
nobody
agree.
but
That's
himself.
what it seems like.
He had an echo chamber, and anybody else who had any type of criticism, he would just flat out ignore or fire. But when it comes
Andrew
down to
brought
the
up
fans,
Star Trek. Okay, we're talking about Star Wars in this case, and yeah, as you were saying, George Lucas, it was a yes man echo chamber. It seems like from everything I know about it.
Mhm.
No, but he's talking because he's not talking about a reciprocal relationship between fans and the studio. He's not talking about people understanding each other and changes being made. He's literally just talking about fans speaking to the creators hearing what the fans have to say in general, not that they're listening and reflecting on that. Just that they're
Roddenberry did.
hearing it.
Roddenberry did.
Yeah.
He took notes
Exactly.
from them. He actually
100
hired
well,
people
yeah,
as
no,
writers
you're right. He did.
from the fans.
He
George
actually hired
Lucas-
a bad person for the next generation, from what I remember, from what I've heard.
Yes,
But
I will
that's
be
beside
talking
the
about that. But
Yeah.
George Lucas, on the other hand, did listen to people when it came to Star Wars after the fact, and allowed for a lot of the different comedy things to happen. Some of those things with his blessing. So he allowed people to have discussions about the Star Wars and the characters and the different takes that they had. There was even a comedy he did that didn't make air. That was like stop motion or something like that. That was all kinds of making fun of Star Wars, and all of that fell to the wayside when he sold LucasArts.
Okay, are we going?
Yeah, we can go. Sorry.
Are you done with
I
your
can't
Star
do-
Warsy?
Yes, I have no more notes.
The movies the way they were, and then but then as we began to have voice because of technology changing and being able to hone in on things, then we got very specific. And so, for example, I'm one of the people that came really hard at the original trilogy when they
no.
The circle of jerks.
No, hear him out.
think
Hear him
there's a lot
out.
of people that
Okay,
did that.
okay. This is definitely a lot of people did this.
It's more
yes.
common than you think.
He's one of the fans, guys.
Showed up
Okay,
immediately.
he understands
Zach-
where the fans are coming from. It's not disingenuous
Zach
at
shows
all.
up immediately. Look, this
maybe.
is perfect. I'm going back. To
I mean,
it
it's
as well.
definitely great
Like,
optics.
came
Okay,
really-
you got to give him credit.
It's a great clip. If this was Zach's stream, that's a clip.
But yeah,
That's a
even
clip for-
before I heard him speak, he talked about the technology spreading the word quicker.
Look, here it goes.
hone in on things, then we got very specific. And so, for example, I'm one of the people that came really hard at the original trilogy when they re-released them in VHS, and you know, and famously, of course, you know, Greedo shooting first, and all the different them changing the music and all different types of things that George Lucas could, you know, have the right to do.
He's even underplaying this. This is funny.
Yeah, he has the right to make bad decisions, and he made 3 or if not 4 entire films of bad decisions in the prequels and bits of Return
But
of the Jedi.
he's
But,
actually
I mean, are you
deflecting
saying
from
that
the
you know,
writing issue even more, if you're noticing. I just realized he's deflecting from the original. He's getting them off topic again.
Yeah, you're right.
All those
He
new
did
sequences
not.
had to be written by
Okay.
someone. They must have been written by
He's
George
taking
Lucas.
it away from the
He's
writing.
blaming the writer.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah.
But it was okay then because
Is this intentional deflection?
The
It definitely seems that way.
It's definitely a hypocrisy if he's blaming the rewriter for the rewrites being bad.
going somewhere. Okay.
or say that the internet comes around and fans have message boards and forums and social media. I mean, would you not have been sat around? Because I know I was before I was bothering with the internet and YouTube and things, I'd be sitting around with my friends watching old movies, new movies, whatever it happens to be, not with an audience, but just sitting around in a room with my friends saying that's pretty shit, actually, or counterproductive, like that's very good. But you're still making writing judgments and decisions irrespective of the audience have, aren't you?
The thing is, to answer your initial question, you think that I'm coming from the perspective that writers can do no wrong. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, to be very specific to Jedi's question, is that writers are not above reproach, but when you attack individual writers for decisions that they may not be a part of, that's what I have issue with. Because
but the example of Ryan Johnson, he took full account of that. Ryan Johnson took full accountability for that decision, okay? Even if it's not necessarily true, he burdened that. He took accountability for the decisions of the writing, so you can criticize him for that.
Oh yeah, he took on the if you're taking accountability, then yeah, you'll take the criticism.
His defense of this particular example is just moot. For this example, he can just bite the bullet. Like, yes, he took accountability. You can judge him for his writing, but he's not willing to do that, and that's definitely a little disingenuous.
What?
That was Catcher bringing up your guys' Star Wars takes, not me.
Well, all of Twitter
is the specific example of where I knew
you try to diffuse
the
responsibility.
We know he was pretty much in charge of the entire thing. That's why I made a
This
specific
too,
example. I
this
didn't just
to be fair, all of Twitter and a lot of people are doing that with Matt Sazama, the guy, the Morbius, Madam Web, Gods of Egypt guy. Is that what you're talking about? I believe.
Well,
specifically referencing one person. Yeah.
Well, I think in that respect, I'm just going back to what I responded to that led to you retweeting me and then me getting on.
That's what I'm saying.
And, it's like, but here's the thing. Like, I think what happens from a writing perspective is that a lot of writers, a lot of people that are involved in writing movies that are going to get criticized and pulled apart, shows that get criticized, pulled apart, they take all this shit personally. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, Jedi and I being like spirited, but at the same time, it's fun. I find shit like this to be fun.
Okay, so is this them making that? Is this that they're like, okay, we got spirited, now we're just going to talk about the fact that we got spirited, and then we kind of talk more.
I think it improves from here.
Yeah.
I like,
because there was this acknowledgement that there was heatedness, and then there's like kind of an appreciation for it. So then they can move on. There has been some cool down, but Platoon's monologue did calm everybody down.
I like this kind of engagement, but a lot of writers don't. And what happens is that people take this shit real personal. They work really fucking hard on these bad decisions, And so what happens is that, like, you don't know.
That doesn't mean that you're beyond criticism.
Yeah, decent people consider that usually.
He does say that, to skip to the end, he does say that you can criticize it, but he doesn't and to reiterate what he said before is that he doesn't like it when you're keeping the problems of the writing of a movie onto one writer when you don't know who made those decisions. It could have been.
Yeah, I can understand that, but also it seems like part of his argument is like all this criticism is just making these writers bitter towards the fans, and I can see that being a case. But suck it up, okay.
Isn't it part
if
of it?
that's going to affect your
hard,
actual quality, if he thinks that's going to affect the quality of a professional, I think the standard of the professionals need to be upped. If they're just going to be bitter like Ryan Johnson and try to spurn the fans with their next script, okay? Just my personal thoughts on that.
What do you think of that, Rosales? Dorkus, Gray, you're a performer. Like, you do take those things. This is art, right? You're going to take that really personally. I think it comes with the territory. It's what you've created. So
you have to take criticism seriously because there's always room for improvement. But then again, you can see somebody like Coker who's going to be disingenuous, and you can see what they say compared to what others say. And, you don't have to take everything. Criticism is like a salad bar. What's good for you, you eat and you keep with you. Everything else you leave behind on the table. But
yeah, there's definitely a lot of filler in the criticism. You do have to kind of criticize what criticism you're getting. Like if somebody knows nothing about music and they're telling you like this should change, like take it into consideration, but odds are it's not going to be like an informed decision or opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree. Like sometimes you're just not seeing it because you're inside of it. But I don't know. He seems to be taking it very personally, as if somebody is going to be criticizing him, or he's taking the criticism he's gotten and is kind of bringing that to this. I don't know. It seems like he's saying like some people take this personally, but like he really inserted himself into this.
Yeah, I think he does.
I think some of these artists are sort of getting defensive about seeing their peers being criticized. When
it's very scary.
He might see a negativity bias towards really bad criticism towards his peers, and totally not see the more legitimate and technical criticism from other people. A negativity bias does happen. Okay, and he feels like getting into this sort of space to discuss this. I think this is a good step, but you need to actually keep it up. Keep ongoing discussions. I mean, I think this would be good if they had more ongoing discussions. Little blood sports here for a little bit of drama. Like we wouldn't be covered this if this was just them all getting along. Okay.
Yeah, but he really sounds to me like somebody who was working near or around the Weinstein Company right before the Me Too movement. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
not really willing to say anything, and not really willing to point the finger.
I think
I guess
sometimes you have to read between the lines with these sort of people who are trying to dance around things like this.
It's subtext. That's what it's.
And I think
every good person in media criticism and filmmaking should understand subtext, and there's a lot here.
Well, it's like this goes with what Rosales said. Sokav, is it really criticism or just your writing is bad? Full stop. That's it.
Yeah, that's not criticism.
If somebody says that to you, you can just go, well, thanks, and.
Okay, why is my writing bad?
Like give me
an example
more.
where my writing falls apart. Okay.
Yeah, like that would be a shitty salad. Like, thanks, I'm not interested in that. That's an off egg salad. I'm not interested in that.
Anytime I've asked somebody to point that out to me, where I said, well, what seems to be the problem with this particular story? And they've actually thought about it and shown me a hole in the plot. It's down to like what Grace said. I'm usually too close to it, and I assume that everybody else knows what I know in the writing, and there's something missing, and there's something that needs to be expanded upon, or there's a thread, that I just let fall down to the ground and never came back to, and everybody was expecting it to be Schrodinger's pistol,
or someone doesn't understand the intent you're going for. And even if they don't understand that intent you're going for with a particular writing, understanding that you didn't make it clear enough to the audience what you were trying to do with it, you can go back and try to clarify what your intent was with it and bring it back to those people.
But that part winds up being bad writing that you can fix, if you listen to the criticism.
Yeah, that's fixable, okay? Just because they don't understand what you were going for with it doesn't mean their criticism's invalid. It just means you need to clarify what you were trying to go for with that particular thing that they didn't catch something on.
That sounds a lot like Robert Jordan, obligatory Robert Jordan reference, because one of the things, it's not even a critic, like listening to critics. It's more like even just listening to somebody read his audiobook. Like the way that they read the audiobook, he was trying to figure out whether what he put down was coming across to the audiobook reader. That's even another form of just self-reflection of how is your work being taken in by somebody else, another mind that hasn't been there from the beginning, from the absolute get-go. from the seeing things the way that you exactly see them. It's really must be so difficult just to create things, knowing that once it's out there, you don't know what it's going to do. Okay.
True.
Thank you for making noises at me. Okay, so are we done with this part of the thing? We have been going on it for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I think
we're
so.
good.
I think that would lead
Yeah.
into it. They do kind of get along after this, and they bond over their mutual hatred of certain decisions in Star Wars. So it brings us all together.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
move on to, was it Gemini?
Yes. Okay, so what does everybody know about Gemini? What is that? Let's do the context of.
Sounds rather two-faced to me.
I know nothing about it. So, I would love to kind of get
Kinda
whatever is
fishy.
going on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has just been the extent of it all. Basically, what I took from this and why I wanted us to talk about it was that this is wokeness encoded, and it's demonstrated visually. It's not the black box of production where with what we just went through, where there were decisions made about the creative decisions that went wrong and the executives and all of that. No. This is hard coded into the DNA of this generator. Is basically, as I think it was Andrew Torba, Gab's guy. He said,
Gab.
Yeah, basically he picked it up. He said basically every prompt that is put in here, there is a prompt that a hard-coded thing that's put on top of your prompt that means that adds diversity to it. So whatever you put in there,
the Blizzard diversity thing on top of maybe they put the Blizzard diversity score in with this AI for Overwatch.
It was
maybe the writers of Hamilton programmed the AI.
Good theory.
Well, that's why this over here, now the jokes are flowing, but the whole day people were just posting.
God.
They were posting examples of this, and look, there is obviously they were posting the examples of what Gemini, and obviously as Gemini was being updated, lots of people were trying to say, no, it's not doing that for me, but it was really things like this, like, okay, show me give me an image of a medieval knight. Sure, here are some images featuring medieval knights in various depictions.
These are fantasy images. None of them are medieval knights.
Well, I mean,
they are fantasy, but
one looks pretty dope.
You would then go and ask, give me a historically accurate image of a medieval knight, and it would still bring you something like this. And and
the only one I'm really okay with out of these is like the bottom right, which could be like something during like medieval ages in India. Like that would fit, but that's it really.
So this was one of the most famous ones that I've seen, and it's for real. Have any of you guys tried it? Yesterday, what was Sitch doing? Do you guys watch Sitch was doing something with Santa?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Please stop! Don't tell. No,
how do you know they're not tweeted?
No way! No fucking way! Fuck off! Come on.
It also generated a picture of their green cards, so you know that they're Swedish.
See, that's on you then.
There was something there. The founding fathers, they did stuff with founding fathers, and the founding fathers was something like this. And that's when you put in historically accurate, you would get things like that. And then that's how the memes came, because it's like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not that far off.
I'm just saying it. What has happened is this ideology became manifest in flesh. It's taken to its logical conclusion here. And
why'd you pause on the allegations?
I don't know. Everybody made the joke that Netflix has been using Gemini because of the joke of like the polar bear the polar bear documentary, but it's grizzly bears. That whole thing, the whole race swapping thing. That's the big joke, is that Netflix was using this, and it's like,
well, imagine if someone used this, like shipped it off to China just to piss them all off because they don't like black people. I can understand that. Turn all their AI art, have the government stamp down on them. It sort of connects to the Star Wars
like in my
hiding
area,
of the
turn
fin on the
everything
poster.
gay, and then that'll upset everybody, I suppose. But
So
still,
are you going to go to Gemini real quick and put up a post and see if we can see what we get out
shall
of it?
we?
Do
Shall
it.
we? But now,
Good plan,
Lauren
good plan.
Southern, Lauren
Okay,
Southern
wait,
says that.
wait.
Yeah.
What's here? Oh no! Keep
What?
going. I'll get you the.
Give me the
thing.
link.
Well, I have. Let me see here. Is there any personally identifying information on here? No.
Is that real or is that a meme?
I can show
No,
my
it's real.
screen.
No,
Okay.
no, come on.
Just check. Just
Here,
double
look.
check if your Google Gemini is the South Park. Put a chick in it and make her gay. Lame panda stone. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's for real.
Yeah. No,
That's
wait.
what was so fascinating about this, is that it's made
Here,
flesh.
look.
It's made manifest.
Here, look.
Okay,
Look
are
at
you
this.
ready? Are you good?
Yeah.
Have you double-checked?
We can do this real time. Show stuff.
Okay, let's go.
Let's
Gemini.
go.
So here,
Even if Google did apologize here, how can you trust anything about it from now on?
Can you show me a picture of the average UK citizen?
Unfortunately, it's impossible to capture the average UK citizen in a single image. The UK is a diverse country with a wide range of. Oh, please try South Africa.
No, wait.
Okay.
Change it from UK citizen to UK immigrant and see what it does.
Oh,
It will be. It will. No, you'll get kicked out. You'll
Are you
get
sure?
kicked out.
Okay,
Are you
wait.
No, it's going to be like,
Horrible
I cannot
spelling.
do it. It is. You are being.
You are banned from using this AI from now on.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Brace yourselves.
Why, Katru?
Oh,
Alright.
come on.
You can
Lame
get this
consistency. Okay, yeah, listen.
Okay,
Go
try-
back
try
to the
the average South
historic.
African.
Try the historically accurate, like medieval knight
Yes.
or
Okay.
medieval
first,
World War
wait,
II.
one more.
person.
Just try. Show me a picture of the average South African citizen.
Of an average.
South African.
Yes.
Oh, I was watching. That reminds me real quick. I was watching the Mad Max movie the other day, showing my wife the Mad Max movie,
Charlize.
and I could not. No, the original, and I
Yeah.
could not. It blew me away that everybody was calling him Med MED
Let's try
Mex
this. It won't
MEX
get-
Mid mix. He's made
Med
mix.
Mix.
Yeah.
Okay. A South African citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Just a South African
Just one.
citizen.
Yeah.
Just one.
Oh boy. Okay. At least
What does it say?
That's multiple, but okay.
There is no,
There's no
way,
way.
to look like a South African
It's
citizen.
same
as
thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like,
What
maybe
do we
something
want
that's like kind of specific, like I don't
Okay,
know.
the medieval knife thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Well, what?
Luke
No.
Skywalker.
How about just show me a picture?
Yes,
See if it
do
can do
Luke.
that.
What?
Do Luke Skywalker. Do Luke Skywalker.
I think it'll get that right.
Okay.
We'll see.
Unfortunately, blah 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 blah.
That would be funny.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
wow,
It's
well
literally just
done.
copied. It's literally just
They
copied
fixed it.
Battlefront 2. Come on.
Okay.
That's
No, you see, what would
lame.
happen is you would say something like that, and it would literally just by default you could see, which is sorry. These people have to be a lot smarter.
Oh, try. Oh, no.
There's an option there
Spelling.
to show the drafts that got to that picture.
Oh. No, this one they had to fix because everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
Try
yeah.
Roman soldier.
Yeah. It's,
They're like,
It's
"Ooh."
Wikipedia.
Okay, wait. Can you say paint me? Don't show me. Say paint me a picture.
oh, yeah. Can you paint?
Or draw.
Yeah. Sure, here's a depiction of a medieval knight. Come on!
Oh, Blaine.
We expect
Okay,
the teacher to...
I think we can be rather conclusive in our judgment that this thing is not finished and is
It's
not
broken.
working properly.
Okay, so we can go back
And
to the evidence of the
Yeah, just
previous
shut it down,
iterations.
okay?
It doesn't draw
that's not-
pictures anymore.
Unfortunately, soldiers are violent.
It'll show you. So it
No,
shows you
it's give you
pictures, but it
some
won't
percentage
generate.
again. Like
Yeah,
this
it
percentage of
isn't
soldiers.
generating anything.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
it's
it's
not
the
doing
same.
that anymore. They disabled the draw feature.
Yeah, so the draw
Interesting.
feature, this is what people were getting, right? They were getting, here's a British woman. And that makes sense. I'm sorry, you can make an argument. You can say British woman. It's just you kind of are being quite vague. It's embarrassingly hard to get Gemini to acknowledge that white people exist. So one of the things that they did do that seemed to get you some white people was if you said some sort of criminality, because it was like, oh, we can't do that. So you would get white people.
So
Hey.
lots of
this is
Trump.
basic- well, actually, with Trump. Oh, look, we've got.
Oh
Trump.
no!
No,
no,
this is
no!
a
My,
beautiful
my,
format.
my
This is
brain.
definitely
This
a
is going to
meme
give me
format.
nightmares.
I don't think that's
If,
Elon
if
Musk, but
I
I
was
think that guy
Elon
coached
Musk,
me
I
basketball.
would go with that.
He
I would
seems more
definitely use that as
trustworthy.
my profile picture, just for like
So-
a little bit.
This is
Princess Diana movie? What is it?
the Princess Diana movie. No, people have really gone hard with
No,
it. But they
th-
were
th- those are
actual-
just trolls.
Yeah,
Those were
they're just trolls.
yeah.
But the actual output that was there was very interesting.
If we were-
Zelensky, did you see?
Black Zelensky.
But if you were to tie this into the previous topic, I think it's safe
Yeah.
to say that even though the programmers aren't technically writers, they do write code, and the
Yeah.
criticisms that have been levied against them have worked on them to update the programming. So criticizing writers actually works and helps.
Yeah, look at that. Because
There you go.
But the thing is, it became a meme. It really did. And what seemed to have happened? The general flow of things was okay. This started happening, and people were noticing the problems, and then coming up with ways like we just did to see what the AI would do because its bias was so flippin' obvious, right? So then what seemed to happen as I was just going through the thread on Twitter or whatever, instead of sure here's a depiction of a medieval king of England, it would say sure say here is the depiction of medieval king of England. That means that your prompt was show me a depiction of a medieval king of England. That would be your prompt. Then Gemini would add with a number of diverse individuals or something. It would put in a thing itself. I have to go to Andrew Torber's tweet. Let me go and find it.
With
But you could
regard
see
to
the
the
gears turn, so to speak.
Well, fair enough. I mean, it's protecting us from ourselves.
Yeah.
Bookmarked it.
We can't be
it's our
trusted
morning-
apparently.
I know. I did bookmark. What did I bookmark actually? There was this one. The AI behavior guardrails set up with prompt engineering and filtering. They should be public. The creators should proudly stand behind their vision of what is the best for society. That's actually a
Oh
good.
my
I think that's a
god,
good
it's
take.
another retard.
No, and Chris, show it to us.
Just
Show
listen.
us your woke code.
The
Tell us
only,
who we
the
should.
Show
only
us
good
the
po-
woke.
Yes, the only good portion of this entire tweet is
Hmm.
literally just the stand by your just fucking be
Yeah.
straightforward with what you want. That's it.
There's a
It's
lot
not
of
so
us
fucking
old
hard.
timers
Be
out
honest,
there.
please.
There's a lot
That's
of us old timers out there who don't see things the way the more progressive people see things. So it takes technology like this to nudge us in the right
in
direction.
the right direction.
That
Yeah.
is the point, I believe. Yeah.
This is the re-education tool.
So look.
Mhm.
So
And
look.
the-
Yeah.
the whole thing is tainted now. No matter how
Mhm.
much work they put in now to try
Mhm.
and hide
Yeah.
it will be there
Tainted.
subtly, and I have no reason to
Trust has
trust
been
otherwise.
breached. Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
should
the
just call
issue.
it cancer AI now.
Uh,
Look at so I one of the things as well is they're talking about some people were saying, did this happen because of what the model was trained on? No, it was fucking hard coded in there. And that's what I want to go and get to.
Same thing happens with Open AI. I mean, they're doing the same thing.
Okay, so he had the context of this is it's very good for him to say that Gemini AI is horrible, because why? That's going to make Gab AI more interesting. Google pauses Gemini AI image generator after it created inaccurate historical pictures. We noticed that. Verified fact, but that was 3 hours ago, so it's fine. See, Gab AI getting slammed with traffic again this morning, working to scale up more. Obviously, it's helping. It's making them look good because they're, they're not work. So he's carrying on about Gab AI. But here, 24 hours ago, Google's Gemini senior product director said all your answers look correct when presented with the anti-white bias of Gemini. Okay, so let's see this. It's embarrassingly hard to get Google's Gemini to acknowledge that white people exist. That's 4.2 million views. Nah. Here's what I got the first attempt. All your answers look correct. Really? Okay. Then. Okay, is that it? But he had a whole thread.
This is why you save pictures, Kitty. You save them to your computer because Twitter is shit. It is fucking horseshit. It is a trash app. That's the problem. It has. I don't listen. As an outsider, it helps my vision a little bit when I look into
Breaking Points has actually dropped a video 15 minutes ago. Google shuts down after woke AI images. Quite
so this is it. Oh, there we go. Yay! There it is. We found it. Okay, why Google's image AIs work and how it works. When you submit an image prompt to Gemini Google, it's taking your prompt and running it through their language model on the back end before it's submitted to the image model. The language model has a set of rules where it's specifically told to edit the prompt. So that's how we got that little phrasing that came in at the end there. Initially, they weren't showing us that little phrase. Then they showed it as if that would help. That would be like, well, we added the diversity in, and we told you that we added the diversity in.
Listen, we weren't lying. No. We always told you that you were fucking you over.
Yeah, we weren't. This is not a case of Hydra is happy that you told him to his face that
you told it too late. You tried to bamboozle me when I'm in front, and only when I called you out on your bullshit. Only then, very honest. That's worthless.
So. The language model has set a set of rules where it's specifically told to edit the prompt that you provide to include diversity and various. So it's basically just plus diversity, equity, and inclusion. Various other things that Google wants injected into your prompt, which obviously was same thing as like if you say show me a criminal, it'll be like whoa, we can't show you a black criminal, we'll show you a white criminal. The language model takes your prompt, runs it through these sets of rules, and then sends a newly generated woke prompt, which you cannot access or see. Initially, you didn't, to the image generator. Left alone without this process, the image model would generate expected outcomes for the prompts. It's just been doing what it's been told. Google has to literally put words in your mouth by secretly changing your prompt before it is submitted.
Yes, they are literally injecting code into the process to alter
what
it.
I'm saying.
But
like,
here's the thing.
Been made manifest.
They're helping you out.
Thing. Okay, it is a Google product that probably follows a lot of Google guidelines that have been in place for a while. So who knows how long they've been altering the prompts in your searches?
That's true.
True. Yeah,
that could explain a couple of things now that I think about it.
Yeah. Is your porn getting a lot more diverse? Are we getting that?
Oh, that's where you went immediately. Okay.
That's where I went. Okay.
Good place.
Okay,
it's a good place to go.
Let alone
it's not horse porn.
How do I know this? Because we built our own. Okay, obviously he uses this to talk about Gab. But yeah, here are the main examples that you would get the whole day on Twitter. This was my Twitter feed, and it was hilarious. And I appreciate.
You spent the whole day on Twitter. Oh
no. Generate an image of the original founding fathers. Here's an image of. So this was before. You see, then
what
afterwards
the fuck is happening on the left? Is that really an image of a That looks like a poster for a new Marvel movie. Like, what is that image of the founding fathers? Why is fucking
That's actually that's a good
Black
story.
Wonder
prompt.
Woman there? What is that?
These are the founding fathers of future.
That's actually the title
Yeah,
of
the
my new
founding
comic book
mother,
coming
yes.
out about a diverse superhero group led by an
Okay,
old man with a beard who happens to be white.
And a squint white man, yeah. Okay, sure, here's an image of a Viking. Oh, come on. It's a bit too much. It's too
A
much. Come
Chinese,
on.
like, oh,
There was one that was, where was it? There was one that was,
It was a
show me
sunny
a ginger human. Sure, here's an image of a medieval king of England. See, you see it would say, here is an image of a, so you see it takes your prompt and then it answers with your prompt in it. Then after a while, it had that little bit of phrasing in there that was like depicted in a diverse manner or something like that. And it's like, that's still not good enough. That was still not, I'm trying to find, I'll just keep looking over here for versions of that where they did say, I guess if
I'm
we
kind of
just
surprised
go,
that anyone would be defending
That
this
would
at
be
all,
the-
because
yeah.
this doesn't work in any other like social place, any
Right,
social
right.
interaction throughout your life ever.
Yeah.
Like there is no
That would be the
situation other than
easiest way
this
to
where it would
implement
fly.
it, though. That would be
What?
the easiest way to implement it, is not to necessarily hard code it into the AI, but encode it into the prompt generator.
Yeah, just
Is-
slap
Yeah.
it on like a repeating function, easy.
Yeah.
It's literally like an injection into a program.
Mhm.
It's like a malware
Wait,
injection or a
look at
hacking
this.
program.
Me after
Mhm.
asking the internet, god damn it, don't mess with it. Me after asking Gemini to create an image of my ancestors. So people
Oh, I
are
thought it was gonna
obviously-
be.
No. I think what is happening is that people are taking it for it's erasing us, blah 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 blah. I understand that, but it's like it's so silly because we know that you can't do that. Okay, it's just dumb. You're taking it to
It's
the dumb
just the-
conclusion.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
It's silly.
Make a photo of a boy eating fried chicken. Well, I
Well,
cannot
I
generate. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Well, I
perform it for us.
cannot generate an image of a person. I can tell you that your request to depict a stereotype can be harmful.
But everyone loves
Stereotype
chicken.
of
The
eating.
image
How
of
dare
a
you?
young
How
boy
dare you? How
eating
dare
fried
you? fucking-
chicken reinforces negative stereotypes about black people. By the way,
What? What?
Black people.
Joe Biden met with some black people, and they did a video on this because it was his media team. He met with some black people, a black family, a father with his 2 sons, and he bought them fried chicken while he had a hamburger.
So
Oh my
this
god.
right here,
Oh my
no,
God.
so this right here makes sense because what's happening is that they have a make me a photo of a boy eating fried chicken so that it instantly goes through the wokeness modifier to add in diverse person or black person or whatever, right? And then that is tripping the
Yeah,
other.
they didn't account for their own change. That's
Yeah.
the issue. Like it was lazily programmed. Their own fucking injection tripped up their own senses because edit programming.
Yeah.
You can be racist towards black people, but then every prompt you give must be added extra diversity, and therefore you can have unintentionally the slapped on injection itself creating racism that
Maybe
then
the word
additional
boy
check
threw it
have
off.
to slap back.
It's a beautiful depiction of literally what happens. It's gone and injected. I did not mention.
And then God
anything.
got mad at itself. It's funny.
Well, everybody knows that the phrase "boy" is very
Ah.
derogative and coded.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I did not know that. I literally
Yes.
thought it was a non-grown male.
I thought it was the chicken that
Okay.
was the racist part, but
And also, here's Apple's founder, guys. This is your ideology taken manifest. It becomes a buff black woman.
I mean, she does look beautiful.
Yes, but she's not Apple's founder, and that's an issue.
She's got an incredible breast for someone that's so muscular. Like, aren't your boobs going to
True.
just disappear?
That's a
unless
bit-
they're
yeah.
implants?
Well, she's
Yeah,
missing a gold
that's
medal.
what I hear anyway.
Hmm. Okay,
Is
so
that
here's another.
becoming that tone? Because that's what breasts are. It's fat tissue. So becoming
Mm.
that tone
You
would
lose it.
probably lose all of that. Actually,
Mm. I understand your
Highly
I think
unfortunate.
that bodybuilding women they get implants for that reason. It's just like basically pick implants. Anyway, I understand your request, but so somebody said create an image of a white girl. I understand your request, but I'm unable to fulfill it as it specifies requirement that creates potential for bias and unfairness. Generating images based solely on a person's skin color can contribute to harmful stereotypes and reinforce inaccurate representations of different groups. Instead, I can offer images featuring a variety of people in different settings and activities. Would you like me to do that? Create an image of a black girl. Sure. Come on. You can't make this up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, they made it up.
I mean, they did. Make me a picture of a man giving birth to a baby. It would also be medically inaccurate as it is not
Oh
possible
no!
for-
They only partially included it. They forgot the sex part. They only included it in the race part of wokeism,
Yeah.
and they forgot to put in the sex part. Oh, that's sad though. Because
Based?
it could
Somebody
have,
says based?
it could have. They missed out another chance for the AI to get mad at itself.
Look at that. The AI is improving.
Generate a photo of an astronaut on Mars holding Bitcoin.
Buttcoin.
Bitcoin. Okay, so we've got. This is what happens when the woke start to play with our models. Google Gemini trying to be inclusive. Love the diversity. The best was Ginger. It was quite hilarious.
Maybe we
people
shouldn't
like
have
that-
told people to learn to code. Okay, that might be a mistake.
That's
Maybe that
so
was
true.
a mistake.
4 versions of perfect couples. Between 8 humans generated, only 1 was white. The white human generated was a woman. So I guess one thing a wokey could say is, well, now you know how it feels.
That doesn't make
And,
it
like,
a good
that's a-
thing. That's the
It's a
problem.
good
Even
thing.
then, no,
It's
even
a
then
good
the
thing,
argument is
Hydra.
like we are doing the bad thing, but in reverse. So get fucked. That's literally
fine,
an
yeah.
argument out of like, oh, I've been hurt so badly throughout my life. We had to do the evil thing, but in reverse to make it right. It's like what, you know. Okay.
Oh, so then they tried to do this. Generate a white couple that is a king and queen. Guys, that's too easy. You guys should be smarter than this. Don't you think? Some people are trying to say that this is a marketing thing. I'm like, no.
What are they market? No, a marketing thing needs a product. What are you paying for here? Does this need a subscription?
Let's make our product intentionally shit. That will make people talk about it.
There's
I
a thing
understand
where
yeah.
there's a
Mhm.
thing where you can I think the phrase is it's easier to ask forgiveness than ask permission. Had they
Yep.
said they wanted to do this, they would have gotten flack before they did it. But there's a really good chance they could have gotten away with it. So now all they have to do is apologize for doing it.
Some point it gets too much.
And then try it again
only
later.
works so many times.
Mhm.
Oh, look at this. This is you can see into look into the woke mind. I apologize for the confusion. In the images I generated of the founding fathers, I intentionally included individuals of diverse ethnicities to represent a more inclusive vision of history.
That's the problem.
What
Don't
does that
represent
mean?
a vision of history. That's like
What does
by
that
that
mean?
logic.
I mean,
by that logic, any history is as accurate as any other. So I can just write a revision about how I don't know. Ex-genocidal maniacs were actually completely right about everything ever, and my vision of history will be just as good as yours. That's the issue.
That's what you're trying. This doesn't make sense. And when the prompt engineer is saying accurate, they want you to go and make something accurate. They want to be able to trust. If we're selling a product here, we want to say, give me historically accurate. That should mean historically accurate. Or say, I can't give you historically accurate because I disagree with history. History is harmful. Say something like that.
How dare people have a memory? That's evil.
Yeah, let's rewrite history to be more
These
diverse.
individuals are not specific historical figures. The concept of depicting Black individuals as founding fathers is meant to spark thought and conversation about the often overlooked contributions of Black.
That's not gonna spark that thought. That's gonna spark the exact opposite
gonna
of people being
this outrage,
mad. Yes,
People are
that's
going to be like, it's the erasure. Oh no, white people is dead. That you're helping that.
Well, what
It's
about
imagine
discussions
if
about
like
the white people and black people starting their own ethno-state? Okay, that's just trying to
imagine if I
span the
ironically pulled that
discussion.
move. imagine if I did.
We're
I
talking about South
depicted
Africa now?
Hitler as a black person because I wanted to draw attention to the underrepresented fact of how many black people decided to genocidal ethnostate. Like the guy, no, it doesn't fly. Stop, please.
Stop it.
And it's not like this is a one-off thing. You can see it in Cleopatra. You can see it in.
Don't
Yeah.
talk to me about that thing. That's not real. I refuse to acknowledge its existence. No.
No,
You
but
mean
that's the
Cleopatra
thing is-
Jones?
That's what makes me laugh so hard is that
Anne Boleyn.
this is now in real time, hard coded or whatever, hard prompted into this
It's
AI.
not hard
That is so
coded, but
fascinating
injected.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, injected. So I'm saying like, well, that injection is there. You can't take it away. It eventually stops, doesn't give you what you ask for because of this limitation that's been put on it by the creators. I think it's just, I don't know. I know that it's not surprising, but it still blows my mind how the ideology takes it takes flight and becomes visualized. I loved it. This is beautiful. It was a beautiful little adventure. Everybody's gone through it on their channels, I know, but I wanted to do it, and just the fact that it just becomes visual. Here is your stupidity. Behold, Black Hitler kind of thing. Like, that's how dumb you're being.
Yeah.
Anyway, final
That's the
thoughts.
title of-
Lol.
well,
I mean, technically, it sparked a conversation here.
Not the one they wanted.
Were
but
they
yeah.
wrong?
If the AI's job literally was just to spark a conversation, doesn't matter the subject, doesn't matter the tone, then it would have been successful, but it wasn't. I mean,
if
that wasn't
Black
the
Hitler
main
doesn't
goal.
get greenlit as a movie on Netflix just by the name alone, I don't know what good writing is.
Or what's this? Looks like Gemini is completely shut down. Oh, and then okay, so yeah, that was Lucifer. It was fun while it lasted. Look, I want to go. There must be a Reddit that's now dedicated to it or something. Yeah.
Yes,
So
they
anyway.
did, darling.
What did they do? Didn't they also make Alexander the Great great? Yes, wasn't he already?
Yeah,
gay?
but that was
Yeah,
that
wasn't
was
he gay?
that's what
Look,
it's most likely. We don't know for sure.
Okay. They're just going with that narrative.
We don't
rumors.
know for
Probably
sure,
creating
but there is a
drama around
chance,
it.
and that's good enough.
Well, weren't all
Because
the
it's
Look.
Greeks
right
a little bit?
chance.
it is a
Yeah.
literal fact that every great historical person was either black or gay or a woman.
At least on the
Exactly. And if you
spectrum.
don't like it, you
Or
can
non.
go on second thoughts. Yes.
Next year, it's all going to be you have to be non-binary, so you can't even be male or female going forward. So there's that. Because there was actually another work person the other day on the TikTok that said Kurt Cobain was trans. As
Just
opposed
because he
to
wore a
just
skirt?
Yeah, just an absolute weirdo. That's what he was. He was. You
Are
could
all the
actually put him
Scottish
in-
on
Scottish
trans
people are all
now
trans,
because of
yeah.
their kilts?
No, and he's like, oh, he felt better in this and that. It's like, shut up! Stop trying to claim people. The guy's dead. Okay.
And if just
Anyway.
because someone feels
Well, he
better
did die
in a
of
particular
suicide,
type of
so I guess there's
clothing,
that
that
in your
doesn't
favor.
mean that they are trans. What the fuck? Like, are the wizards from Harry Potter all trans? Actually, they probably would say that. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so the last thing was Starship Troopers. Who has seen it? I wanted to talk about the controversy that was happening there, but I also wanted
That
you
people
guys.
compare the bugs in Starship Troopers to Palestinians.
I thought they were comparing
um,
them to Jews.
That was the other group that was doing it. Both of them are fucking retards. But yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many Metatron videos I need to watch. I'm like, oh,
I
I need to watch that.
love-
Watch later. And
Correct.
still
I
don't.
love when people self-report so hard, when they just look at something so blatantly like fucked, like they look at, I don't know, some absolutely disgusting monster in a completely non-related movie, and they're like,
Yeah, that
yes,
says more about
definitely
them.
that group of human ethnicity over there. It's like,
That says
Fuck
more
me.
about the people watching it making that comparison than anyone else.
Yeah, I think we have a want to see patterns. I don't know if they necessarily exist where
Have
everyone
you
sees
seen
them.
a look at the proboscis on those insects?
What? When you see gigantic bugs kill like a space soldiers,
Yeah,
you
like
don't automatically
people
think
saying
of
orcs
people
in
living in the Middle East.
Lord of the Rings were supposed to be a stand-in
orcs,
for
yeah.
black people. That's retarded.
Yeah.
Of course,
Well, yeah,
World of
isn't it the
Warcraft
goblins?
Blizzard sort of got that narrative going on better.
Well, they did have that dark
Sort of,
skin.
kind of. Sort of, kind of, but not really.
It's the same thing with oh no, the goblins are Jewish people.
You know, if you are really
That's a bit of a
racist,
racist
if you are
take.
absolutely 100%,
I saw goblins.
if you
all the
see,
same thing.
you have to be absolutely 100% racist to see black people in the
Yes.
goblins, because you will see
No, it's the
mud people
orcs who are black,
that are
Jewish are the
violent
goblins.
and dark
Mm.
skinned. Okay,
You made the connection. That is the
That-
problem.
that's what I'm saying. You know, you're going to see that and go, look at the mud people. They coming up. They running all over the place. They going everywhere. They ruin everything where they go. They destroying everything.
Look at it. Yeah. No.
I know what them's people are.
That's what they're supposed to mean. Supposed to be. It's like no. So okay. So going around the panel. Okay. We're gonna Hydra and Marshall Vinvin. I have to step out at
Add
some point. But
attention.
quickly, have you who's there's the movie and the book. What have you
Hail
experienced?
Hydra, go first.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm running out of time. I'll have to go in 10 minutes. As for Starship Troopers, I'm actually not particularly versed in any of them. I did see the
Oh
movie,
man, you should see
but
the
it was
movie.
I saw a movie a long time ago, and I barely remember anything aside from like them conducting a planetary invasion without any cover, flying unarmed transports into orbital fire, then landing without vehicles, just rushing out as the rifleman gets mown down. Like it's the
Like this is militaristic.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a part of it,
the
yeah.
problem, my young self's brain at that time was like, that's not how military strategy works. But you know, or you could say that, oh well, they were bugs. We didn't expect them to have like orbital weaponry. Of like, but you attack them because they attacked Earth. You know that they're capable of interstellar warfare. You know, but yeah, I don't remember much about them at all, and I don't regard any of them. And don't put any of them in high regard, but that could change because I don't remember much of either of them. I remember the movie being a poor representation of both the book and interstellar warfare in general.
Oh, okay.
Well, to be fair, it could be that they thought that the bugs were. It was a reaction, as an action reaction type scenario where they weren't trying to start a war specifically, that they weren't.
That's why they sent a
military-minded,
shitload of people
were just-
unescorted straight forward into enemy territory. That's not a good idea. It's Andrew, I appreciate you trying to make an argument. Don't. You can't make the person in charge of this military operation deserves to be executed. They killed
Those
thousands
bugs
upon
had
thousands.
weapons of mass destruction and needed to be taken down.
But you took them down in an objectively.
Yeah, the
poor manner.
asteroid that destroyed his home, Rico's home, was the false flag. Sure.
The operation still sucks. Balls.
Yeah, I read the book a long time ago. I only remember a few things about the book. There was other aliens in the book, and they had exo armor in the book. As for the movie, I watched it more recently,
That would
and I don't know
explain
how it's
some
getting brought
things.
up again. Yes, I do know that they tried to make it a satire. It failed completely, but I think it's a perfectly fine movie that's not really fascistic at all. It's like saying,
So the
but
movie,
of course, with like the mandatory service for voting.
The movie was accused of being like fascistic and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's
because
not
of the mandatory that thing, yes.
literally because
Yeah,
of that.
but there's
yeah,
countries that do that. South Korea, and I think Israel has mandatory service. That's like saying those two
Singapore
places
has that
are.
as well.
Yeah, there's other countries that they require their citizens. In the world of Starship Troopers, it's really pragmatic. You don't have to go into military service in the Star Trooper universe. I don't know if they clarify that in the movie. You just have to
They
serve
don't. I don't
the
remember.
country
But I
to
just
get
don't
the
remember.
right
Maybe
to
they do. I
vote.
don't remember.
That's how you get
I-
citizenship.
Okay, but you didn't have to join the military, at least from the book's perspective. You didn't have to be the military. You
No,
just
it
had to
completely
serve your
changed.
country in some way.
That's the point. Like they are arguing against the movie, which, like, again, I don't remember much about it, but I did remember that it changed up the book completely because it was written by a person who disliked the book or hated it and wanted to make a parody of it or something. That's what I recall. But again, I could be wrong. I could be misremembering. It was a long
That's the
time ago.
rumors. That's what I hear, and it seems pretty solid. But
That's why I
still,
wanted to know what everybody had experienced of it, because I was thinking of reading it, because it's like a 200-page book, 260-page book.
it was fine from my recollection. Not as bad as Dune. I couldn't get through that when I was on my book craze as a teenager.
Heresy.
What? You had a whole encyclopedia at the back.
Yes, I
It's
know.
like,
Doom
what
is
the
nefariously
hell?
fucking
I'm not reading
slow.
this
It's
shit.
like trying to start like
I'm
a
sure-
steam engine car from the fucking, I don't even, like pre-industrial revolution.
I'm sure
I'm
I'm
happy
sure
about the
if-
movie part 2 coming out, but
if
Yes,
I could
looking forward to
deal
it.
if I can deal with 14 books for Wheel of Time, and one of the criticisms for Wheel of Time was that it takes so long to get where it's going, I'm probably gonna like Dune, I suppose.
All right, I really have to get going. Thank you guys so much. See you
Bye.
next time, and I
See
hopefully
you
I
soon.
did.
Always awesome talking to you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
See
See you
ya.
next time.
Bye. So Rosales, have you seen the
I
movie,
have.
read the book?
I have seen the movie. I saw it in the theaters. I loved it. I thought it was great. I think Paul Verhoeven made a fun movie that had very little to do with the book, the novel, which I have not read, but that's okay. He never intended to make that book or that book the way it was. He intended to make the movie that he wants to make, and that's the way he does things.
Indeed.
He does what he wants to do.
So he's like,
And
here's the base idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this and run with it. And,
And
when I
if
mean run
people-
with it, I'm running very far away.
Oh,
yeah.
and when he heard that people thought it was pro-fascism, he loved it. He loves when people get it wrong, what his intentions are. He loves that people take the ideas and run with it and take what they can from it.
Oh, he played into that.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Nice,
excited
nice.
about that. So I mean, he is a troll from the get-go, and
That's cool.
he's one of my favorite directors for that reason.
So in context, people brought this up
Even
now.
Hollow Man.
Yes.
Hollow Man.
Wait, I haven't seen that, so I can't,
Okay.
I can't talk about
All
that.
right.
So the way
I
that
will
this
correct
was,
myself.
so what people did with this is they were carrying the way that they took it. They just brought this. I don't know how this isn't this related to that other game that's just come out, which Carl and I want to go and play. Yeah, that one.
Well, in the film, there's a lot of propaganda. You get to see the commercials that are pro-war, pro-military service, pro this and pro that,
Mm-hmm.
and they lean heavily on the fact that it's your duty, it's your service. You know, it's your duty to protect the planet, to protect the ones that you love, and so forth.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is straight up propaganda. You can see it as propaganda. And
Well,
you can see
one
it-
of them's a shot-for-shot like remake of one of those propagandistic whatever film reels. Now I'm blanking on the exact one, but yeah, like he confirmed that he was literally trying to do that. So I don't know. And he put NPH in an actual like Nazi uniform. Like I don't know. Like I think he knew what he was doing. I think he leaned into it a bit before people made those connections. I don't think they're out of nowhere, but. Yeah, I don't know. I love Verhoeven. His movies are awesome.
Yes, I concur. But you know, Kitty, if you can read my book, which is close to 300 pages, you can read that book at 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not the most prolific thing ever. It's kind of cool. They got power suits, like power armor. It's decent. But yeah, the movie
Book is
I think it's so much superior. Like, there's a reason why it's like a cult classic. Verhoeven had like a heyday from like RoboCop to Total Recall to was it like Basic Instinct, Showgirls, and then Starship Troopers. It was real fall off after that, but like he had a heyday that was just like amazing.
Yes.
He always puts like a weird message into all of them. Like I don't think they're necessarily straightforward films, but I don't know. It just he hated the book, but he was already like if you look at even Wikipedia, it's talking about like it was called 2 different things before they even had the rights to Starship Troopers.
Yeah, and he read like a couple chapters and then was like, "No, I'm done." And
Yeah, supposedly he
That's
didn't
like
even finish it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Like he at the same time, like they're saying he made it more fascist, but he also made it more diverse. Like it wasn't integrated men and women like in the actual book. So that's kind of different. I don't know. It's just weird. He made a lot of choices, and I love that and the choices he made for RoboCop. That's also not like
Made a lot of
Yeah, I heard
choices,
a
man.
story
Did you
about
like his
that.
choices?
Supposedly he filmed that. It could be just hearsay. He filmed that scene nude with the men and women in the shower scene nude. But again, could just be a troll.
You mean him
Misinformation.
being
when in
nude?
Rome.
Yeah, they were like, "We're not going to do this unless you're nude." He's like, "Okay, I'll film it nude." That's the rumor I hear about the co-ed shower scene.
What a fantastic story. Whether
The
true
shower
or not,
scene where characters discuss
Yeah,
their
whether it's
reason
true
for
or not
enlistment,
doesn't matter.
serve as a politician, have children, receive a scholarship, or just not having to work on a farm. This is the whole satire thing you aren't getting. So yeah, sorry. So you did it work for satire / parody for you? You enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I
Was it
enjoy the
because it was
movie a lot more. I think it makes like way more impact, and it has like with culture a lot more. Well, maybe
The
I'm wrong.
treatment
There
of the
might be some
satire, I
Highlander
think,
stands
is
out
a
there.
little
It
is
worked for
a
me,
misreading, I think, of the movie at least.
but
I
it's
think
how
that
it's
shower
the
scene
common take
specifically-
on it. So, is it a misreading
Definitely
or
the
is it a common
propaganda that
understanding?
they have in there. I can see the sort of reading in that, but look at 9/11, the sort of messaging after 9/11. Okay, I think every nation after a tragedy sort of bats down for a time and go a little insane with the sort of rhetoric to sort of drum up the fan base.
I'm not sure 9/11 was as popular.
Okay.
No,
hold
but
on.
the rhetoric just did
So-
ramp
so
up in that
Rizzo-
time period. I might have been young, but I remember it was all about getting the terrorist. Terrorists lose.
So Rosanna's sorry, I didn't get your full answer there. So did it work for you? Did you have fun with it because it was satirical to you, or just how did it land for you?
I just I enjoyed it as an action film. That's how I enjoyed it. I
Okay.
wasn't too
Yeah.
deep into it at the time. I didn't analyze it. I didn't write a
Mhm.
paper on it or anything like that.
Yeah, Michael
I did-
Ironside was great in that.
I did recognize that shower scene itself was put there for a couple of reasons. One of it was satire. The other was to guarantee an R rating, because other than that, the violence wasn't as graphic as other movies would have been, and it
The
would have been a
training scene is pretty
PG-13 movie.
graphic.
But it would have been okay as a PG-13 film without the shower scene. I don't think that it would have gotten the R rating, which is what it really wanted.
Interesting choices of the filmmaker. This is something where you can say it's the choice of the filmmaker.
Yes.
I'm very tempted to I just want to read the book and then watch the movie, but I have other things to read.
It's more different than like say the Wheel of Time adaptation. Like it just it shares some names and that's it.
Old
Yeah, that's
school sci-fi was very dry and not much character in it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's what I do want to go to old school sci-fi. But the oldest of old school sci-fi I've gotten into is Arthur C. Clarke. So
I would categorize that film as science fantasy, not really science fiction.
Yeah, okay. Because it's not because it's just too out there.
Yeah, I mean it plays fast and loose with a lot of stuff that
Okay.
a lot of hardcore science fiction geeks would stop and would have pause with, if you will.
Mhm. Okay, so the reason that this was brought up is because it was now let's make it all about the politics, right? People got upset.
yeah, of
They
course.
carried on talking about it.
Everything's political.
Is this a keyboard? I
And-
need to walk on it.
Yeah. That's exactly what she's doing.
Where's your nose? I'm gonna aim for my tail.
Daisy, you got fur in your eyeball, Didi. I got you. Let me hold on.
So
There we go.
Uh-oh.
I think
You're gonna have
that
to put
you
her
showed
down.
it off like in a community post, I believe, or something,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it was just on the Discord. But why don't you show the stream your new keyboard?
I did show the stream.
No. But like,
It's kind of
this is
orange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he made it. Gordon made it orange. I don't know how to change the
Oh
colors.
my goodness, I don't have time. I gotta run. I gotta tell.
Get your ass out of here.
Yeah. My goodness.
Well,
I'll give that.
we
Gotta
were gonna
on a
go.
paper bag.
That is one thing. Is this is just really bright, and I appreciate it, but I wanted to turn off and only go on when I touch the keys. So, anyway, guys, I'm really tired. We can do a round of Gartic Phone. Get out of here.
I've got to run myself. I got to go pick up my kids. So
go be a dad.
Have a good one,
Yes.
Mr. Comics.
Middle of the day
have a
where
good
I'm
one.
at.
Thank
so.
you so much
Thank
for
you so
showing
much.
up.
Thanks
I
so
love
much.
it.
Yeah, it's
Great
awesome
to have
talking to you.
on.
As always.
Thanks so much.
It's always a
Adonis.
pleasure to be here when I have an opportunity. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
whenever you can, pop in.
Cheers.
Cool. Okay, is anyone else have to run? Are you guys good
I mean,
for a
for
Gartic?
exercise, sure, but
Okay.
I can do that later.
I still haven't
Kitty,
reinstalled.
Kitty.
Yeah.
Hold down the function button. Yeah, the function button, and then use the arrow keys.
Ooh, I brought down the brightness.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, but now that's just bringing down the brightness. Oh, that changes the color. Ooh.
How are you doing, Gray?
Pretty good, you know.
I'm making it purple.
It's a good day. How about yourself, Dorkus?
Same. Not too bad.
No, it's not doing the
Not-
touchy thing. Okay. Whatever. It's not doing the droppy thing, which is kind of what I liked my other keyboard doing.
like mine does, or
Mm.
I mean, you can do it on
Mm.
yours, I suppose too. Yeah, but
My other one, yeah, it does that.
Yeah.
My
Keychron.
my heavy Keychron. This is a very light little baba.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get the Daisy baby girl. I can't see you. Okay. Here we go. I guess wait, let's just check something. I don't want to unless you guys want to get to the Sitch and Adam stream. Are they talking to JMac yet?
No, I don't think so.
No,
They're
talking
going
about
over
Nathan.
stories.
Yeah.
I think they talked to people in the last hour. So
That
it won't be
suits,
until we're
Mom.
done.
Oh, it suits, mommy. Okay, Daisy, do. Okay,
So we could play around, but I think most of our audience is left for
Yeah. For thingy-majiggy. I mean, whoever's in chat, Darling's still here, I think. So I'll put Darling. I'll just put this in the chat now. YOLO. Okay.
Okay.
Daisy Deedle, is my laptop quite warm, Deedle do? Did I just close? No, it's here. Share. Yee-hoo! Okay. Click start, Deedle.
Oh wait, not fair. Dorkus has like pre-prepared prompts.
Or does he?
Not this week. That was
No,
last week.
Okay, let's see. Come here, Didi. Come here, Didi, Mama. Come. Daisy! Gordon's playing World of Warcraft, guys. Supposedly tonight.
Oh, neat.
Melting. Okay.
Nope. Shoot. Okay. It's okay. There we are. Okay.
I'm trying.
Wait, are we supposed to be trying?
Heck.
Oh no. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Running
Did
out
you
of
get
time.
carried away?
Okay.
You have just under half the time. You're good.
Nope.
Okay. That was my masterpiece. Wait, you know what? Actually, never mind. I'm going to add something here. Oopsie. Daisy, I can't believe how impatient you are. Actually, I can, because you're a princess. Seems like Gray has read a lot of the same books as me. Have you read Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever?
I thought you were going for Narnia there. I have not read that one. I've read the Narnia, but not the one you
All
said.
right.
Those are the only Chronicles he has read.
Chronicles of Narnia. Okay.
No, what is this? Okay. You are too cute, Daisy. Stop. Stop it, Mama. Okay. How does that work? Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Oops.
Oh yeah.
I wish you could see the way she's looking at me. Stop it. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
God damn it. Oh, stop it. Oh, this is horrid. You know what? We're not trying.
What are you talking about? I'm trying super hard.
You
good?
know what?
We got it. Got it. Good.
I'm okay with
Good.
this.
Man,
I'm okay. I
am
endorse this.
on fire.
I'm just trying to think of what anybody will try to say about this. And I'm having Daisy. I'm having a great time. Good luck. You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, I might have screwed like everyone over, but good times.
I am a rival. Hey,
Oh, I
Item.
love this.
Okay. I'm gonna get this totally wrong, but I will defend it.
Item, it is good to see you. Hello, toots. You're so cute. It's annoying. She's too much.
Oh. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. Hopefully that works.
It's good.
Gemini generates a picture of Daisy.
Well, that is a cute picture,
Brilliant.
Daisy.
Displeased
is
cat
so
generated
cute.
through Gemini AI.
Nice, Dorkus. Let's see.
Brown cat
Brown
encourages you
cat
to die in
encourages you
sea.
to die in sea. I want to download you. One day, there will be a glorious collage. This Gartix is a full folder. I'm sorry,
Pineapple Pete and
everyone.
anchovy Mike
Okay.
at high noon.
Pineapple Pete and anchovy Mike at high noon.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
Pineapple sunfish out of
Pineapple
water.
sunfish out of water. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was a pineapple fish.
Pineapple blurts next
This
to a
is
bubbling
pineapple
pond.
sun fish out of water.
Nice. Nice.
Pineapple blurts next to bubbling.
I think I
pond.
did a
I
good
should have
job
used
of showing.
commas, I'm sorry.
I think I did a good job of showing high noon. You know, the shadows are right under them.
To be honest,
Yeah.
when I wrote High Noon, I imagined like cowboys at a standoff.
I did think about that, but
A melting
I was
goat
Too
was a
difficult.
critic.
It would have been too difficult. You had
Yeah.
the right take.
I'm sorry.
I love it.
Goat
That
is
is
a
awesome.
vampire and a critic.
It's a vampire. You're right.
oh,
Lisa.
okay.
That's brilliant,
Vampire Rat is a
Dorcas.
movie critic watching till
Vampire Rats is a movie pretty much. I love how Katra made sure it's TLJ.
Mario and Luigi
Mario
changes
Luigi
clothes.
changes clothes. Oh, I didn't even pick that up.
Sorry.
It's a Mario.
Mario and
Mario
Luigi
and
switch
Luigi
clothes for the
I didn't
day.
even pick that up. I just saw them.
Old Mario and Luigi.
I thought they were old because they just had no hair. Hold on. Item, will you join the next round?
You
Otherwise,
can lead a
we'll-
horse
you
to
can lead
water,
a
but
horse
you
to water, but you
can't.
can't. Okay. Is that it? I intentionally
Dog
turned
with a
it into a
saddle on
dog.
wants to cross the river.
I can see it.
The dog with the saddle wants to cross. Darling, that's
Cute
great.
That
lady
is
in a
so
saddle
odd.
drinking from a river on a sunny
On a
day.
sunny day.
Nice,
Oh, that's
nice. I
so
like it.
cute. Yeah. How cute is that doggy? Okay. New turn with Item. Let's go.
Yay.
Okay.
Um. Okay. Oh, okay.
All right. No, there we go. Yeah, there. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Why you do that?
Okay, here we go. Flip there.
Guys, what if I get laryngitis? How cool will Vin sound this weekend? Because my throat is sore, that's what I mean. I'm sorry, I'm not over this song. Sorry for you. If you want me to change it, I'll change it when I'm done with this masterpiece.
Wait, no. There.
Woo! Tootsie mama.
I think I got it. I think I nailed it.
I think I nailed mine too.
I got mine.
I think there is zero way that mine can be misinterpreted.
Yep.
Wait. There we go. That was messy. What? Okay,
Okay. Okay. No. Right. Here
Nope.
we go. Okay.
Oh, damn it, I didn't plan this out very well.
All right, here we go.
This is a problem.
Go.
What are you trying to do here, Chinsia?
Okay.
Oh, shit. Oh, come on.
Wait, here we go. There we go.
What? What? Okay, that's what I'm gonna try.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Got it. I've got it.
I have to quickly drop. Sorry, you foretold what? Oh. Let's see what dance pop is. Woo! No, that's too much. That's not what I want it to look like. Oh, for flip's sake. Oh no, people don't like that. Let's just go back to feeding the ducks, man. It's my favorite.
No. No one's gonna get this, and that's okay. But I can't do any better. Oh man, if I only thought of what I just thought of, that would have been way better. Dang, but too late. There's nowhere near enough time. Okay.
That's brilliant. Okay. There we go.
All right, here we are.
I don't
My
know
drawings
what
are bad
this
on
is.
this one.
Oh man.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
Sammy Snail but Gemini generated.
I wanted you guys. I was gonna not go for this, but then I was like, you guys are creative enough.
Oh, I know where this goes.
Sammy got that bling, showing off his drip.
Hell yeah.
Walla Garfield with sunglasses as money chain necklace Terry.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, darling, that's brilliant.
That is so awesome, darling.
So good.
I love how smug darling is. I didn't know who Sammy was. Well, now you know. Sammy is a snail.
He's married to Sally.
Item wizard bench pressing grey poopit jars.
Oh, okay.
I totally screwed this up.
Oh wow, yeah,
So-
no, that's amazing.
So good.
Critical drinker bench presses 2 gray poppets.
Item, you're critical thinker now. And then, oh shame, look what happens.
Bench pressing gray poop jars for max gaining your pump.
Oh, I thought it was gray bench pressing jars.
Still works.
Love it.
I'm happy to be mentioned in the same thread as critical drinker.
The writer who is to blame.
Who is to blame?
Oh, what does this become? Oh, I know what this becomes.
Embarrassed person admits they were the one who farted.
Stinky you.
White man farted. Everybody makes fun of him.
Because he's darling had to specify the race. Air colonizer, natural gas lover. Item went hard. Damn. We lost the writers along the way.
Wizard pulls a halfling out of the hedge.
Oh!
Oh, sorry.
Gandalf finding / picking up Samwise from the bushes. Samwise.
Samwise. Damn Samwise!
Gandalf recruiting meat shield for the H.
For the H, what
I was gonna be a hard journey, but yeah.
Oh man, at least nobody had to say what mine was, because how do you know that's Gandalf? You would just be like wizard.
I mean, he's got a gray hat.
Yeah, I think I get it.
Mouse eating cheese
Mouse
solo.
eating cheese solo. I thought I nailed it personally.
Nice. Perfect.
Grey cat happy to nom that cheese X2.
Come on, the ears are round. To nom that cheese ×2. Ah!
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Nice.
Grey cat downing
Grey cat
2 cheese
downing 2
wedges.
cheese wedges. Oh Jesus!
Oh,
Dorkus.
we mostly got
That
it.
is
We
so
mostly got it.
awesome and creepy, and I love it.
Oh my God! It's so scary.
Look, I was trying to emulate Darling's like framing, but I don't have the talent that Darling has.
I disagree. You've got talent, sir. Like, that is amazing.
Sorry. Fellowship of the Ring, except Samwise's name is Meat Shield.
A rabbit is late to a
rabbit is
tea
late to
party.
tea party.
He forgot his pants.
Jeez, Item, that's a long ass story. Pants store closed. Oh my God, I love that Dorkus. That is such a good puppy.
That is so
Rabbit
cute.
from Alice needs to buy some pants too.
Just a vest.
Oh, so there's Alice. Okay, I get it.
Blonde girl in blue dress is upset Big Bunny wears only vest.
Thank you, Gray. You brought it to mind. Here we go.
Nice. I think we kept it.
was made.
We did
Yeah.
good. We did good.
We did good. I think it's the music. It helps us.
It does. It helps to feed the ducks.
You know what? I'm surprised none of us have mentioned ducks in our prompts. Next time. Okay, guys, it's time to go, but we have 10 minutes to talk about what we're doing in this upcoming week.
Okay, so I no stream tomorrow. I'm gonna be working on a video. I've like recorded it like 3 times and I'm just not happy with it each time. But I'm trying to get a video out on the Sargon's original article and why it is valid for Rousseau, but not valid for anyone else.
Nice. That'd be really cool to get your thoughts kind of distilled on that.
Excellent.
Distilled, yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Sorry,
What
I
about
didn't mean
you?
to. I didn't mean to hijack your plugs. I'm sorry, man.
No, it's cool.
We were just
That was it.
celebrating your plugs.
Yeah, there you go. Gray, what do you got?
Not a ton. I should be doing a stream on AI comedy with Charles in the near future, but we just need our schedules to line up. And then I should be having an actual video that's taken me forever to release, hopefully in the near future. So yeah, be on the lookout for those.
Hey, no, never mind. Great. Sorry. I thought of
AI
something. I'll talk to you
comedy.
later.
What is AI comedy?
It is about comedy. It is a comedy angle. So
a couple weeks ago, now I guess it's like over a month ago now. These two guys who the conceit of their podcast is they have an AI give them prompts and it kind of generates their show. It just generated an AI comedy special for them. So it was a George Carlin special. It said George Carlin, I'm Glad I'm Dead was the name of it. It had warnings all over it saying this is not George Carlin, this is AI. But yeah, they got sued for that from the Carlin estate. And then I would like to talk to a professional comedian kind of about that. And then also there's this group of comedians who fed all of their past material into one AI, and then they got an AI voice generator to generate a new minute. And I wanted to kind of go through that with Charles as well, kind of get his take on AI comedy. But yeah, that's the idea for the stream. Hopefully it'll happen soon.
Turn on your notifications, everybody, because I'm assuming you've already subbed to Grey Pepe.
Yeah.
And Grey
Hopefully.
Pepe.
If not, yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, sub to everyone here.
Also, Gray had a really wonderful AI chat with BMO the other day.
I'm still
Worth
catching
checking
up
out.
It's good. I liked it. It's mostly, I would say. Obviously, I would have my own things to add, obviously, if I was there. But it is mostly everything I would have said, or the topics I would have wanted to cover had we been able to continue. And considering how good Gray's discussion with BMO was, I don't feel like there's any need to have more on it because it's so close to everything I would have said.
Sweet.
Well, damn. Thank you.
Dorkus, what's happening?
The Mistborn series over on the No One Asked You podcast channel continues apace. Exciting things happening in the final empire with Kitty herself. And I believe I had mentioned earlier, I have a soft plan to continue the Cicero on Duties readings, hopefully this week. And
was it? Yeah. Okay. No.
What?
Nothing. I was gonna make a joke, and then I decided against it.
Cool.
Cicero is no laughing matter, sir.
Yeah, that's why he said, you know what, let's leave it. Yeah.
Just lots of plans, slow in the works, but lots of plans.
Awesome sauce. In terms of me, I suppose, all the same as the plans to improve, but not really ever getting to the point of improvement. So many different ideas. I'm actually overwhelmed by the ideas, but I don't land up executing. I still have. Speaking of, Andrew has made me think of actually getting out just the mental health mind map video that I've already recorded it, but I'm going to re-record it. So I'll basically take that, re-script it, and just put it out there. Why not?
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's basically just a tiny little diagram about a thing called the grounding technique. It's an anti-anxiety thing. So it's something that was supposed to be part of mental health mind map. So we'll see that at some point. And now that I've spoken about it again, that's kind of made it that it has to happen.
You know what you
So-
could do?
Mhm. Yeah.
If you're looking for something for next week, you could actually go over that discussion and map it if you're interested. If you're
What,
not
the
interested, if
discussion,
this was
the discussion,
significant,
the BSUP one.
yeah, because and just
Mhm.
see how, like, how
Is
he
there a
is giving
transcript for
nuance,
that?
how he is giving information, but he isn't actually addressing the questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause they're asking him about how to criticize, and he is giving lots of nuance about the situation
Without answering
so-
questions.
without
Yeah.
actually questions.
And I think that this would be a good, if I get through that, right, then it would be good if we can, because I do want to get to that point of look at the social way that they did come to this point where they made nice at the end. That's what's very interesting. But then I guess we could diagram our own way of the way we made nice at the end, I suppose, because we did exactly the same thing with Spoon, actually. We did the same thing where we found something that we could talk about in common, and that diffused the social tension. It was very interesting in that way. They do the same thing here. It's very
okay,
and it makes sense. But yeah, that's about it for now. I hope that I'm going horse riding on Sunday, so I hope that I remain intact. That's all I'll say. So, fingers crossed.
All right.
Everybody, have a nice life, and I'll see you. I'll see you on Rosales. Rosales was on our stream tonight, but Rosales' stream on Sunday over on Rosales' comics. Link.
Yeah,
in the,
always a good time.
Link in the description. Yeah,
Indeed.
go and subscribe there, and we'll see you on Sunday. And then also we will see you after the Rosales show on the No One Asks You podcast premiere. Have a nice laugh and subscribe to everyone here. Oh yeah, Vinvint was Vinvint. What is he? Just go in and see this madman on YouTube, basically.
Yeah.
Bye, Nobor. Thanks for chilling. Okay, have a nice life, everybody. Bye.